Good morning and thank you for joining us on Friday's edition of ADBN's flagship program, Morning Express. My name is Chijioke Okafo, and this morning we hope to take you through major stories on the front pages of newspaper publications with in-depth analysis into them much later on the program. We'll be assessing the political landscape and happenings gearing up to 2027. Also, matters of national security will be viewed on the program this morning, as well as how the economy is faring and how it affects you and I. Well, before we have all the items on the program menu rolled out this morning, let's join Bito Bryan over at our news desk for the first news bulletin of the day. Hello, Bito. Good morning and over to you.
Hello, Chijoke. Good morning and welcome to ADBN News at 7. I am Bito Bryan. In the news this morning, Minister of Information and National Orientation Alhaji Mohammed Idris says the economic reforms of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu are beginning to yield measurable results, strengthening investor confidence and positioning Nigeria for sustained growth. Alhaji Idris stated this while receiving the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Jumoke Oduwole, on a courtesy visit in Abuja. He noted that Nigeria's foreign reserves have surpassed $50 billion for the first time in 13 years, while the country's removal from the Financial Action Task Force grey list signals renewed global confidence in Nigeria's economic environment. The minister further explained that the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation will continue to amplify government policies and programs. Nigerians and international community understand the reform opportunities they create. He added that ongoing reforms in critical sectors, including power, are aimed at strengthening infrastructure to support industrialization and business growth. Earlier, the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Jumoke Oduwole, said the visit was aimed at strengthening collaboration between both ministries in promoting Nigeria's economic reforms, industrialization drive, and expanding trade opportunities. She highlighted ongoing efforts to boost non-oil exports and position Nigerian businesses to compete in regional and global markets through initiatives such as the African Continental Free Trade Area. Both ministers emphasized the importance of strategic communication and institutional collaboration in showcasing Nigeria's economic reforms and attracting greater investment into key sectors of the economy. In other news, the Senate Public Accounts Committee has called on the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to refund 210 trillion naira over unexplained and irregular financial records between 2017 and 2023. Chairman of the committee, Aliu Wadada, who disclosed the findings during a press briefing, said the company failed to clarify 103 trillion naira in accrued expenses and 107 trillion naira in sundry receivables. The committee also flagged duplicated subsidy costs, inflated production expenses, and 5.9 billion naira just to change the company's name, actions they deemed unacceptable.
That because under ideal accounting principle, it would have been liability subtracted from asset. But in this case, the liability figure is unacceptable to the committee because of the contradictions in the explanations, and also the asset figure, which is the accrued receivables, 107 trillion, is also not acceptable as well to the committee. So NNPC should and must account for the two figures. Then the two figures put together make up 210 trillion. The second resolution of the committee, that the NNPCL should refund to Treasury all production costs charged against crude oil revenue for the period under review, since the NNPC and its subsidiaries, NAPIMS and Co., do not directly produce crude oil.
The committee has resolved to summon past and present NNPCL and NAPIMS management, as well as their auditors, to explain the discrepancies. It also directed the Auditor General to conduct a forensic audit of the company's accounts to ensure transparency and proper management of public funds.
Immediate past management of NNPC and NAPIMS and their auditors to be laid by the present NNPCL management to provide clearer explanations regarding how these infractions happened, which will further enable the committee to take measures that will forestall future occurrences in the management of public funds. Immediate management of NNPC and NAPIMS, here what we are saying, immediate past management is, of course, Mele Kari as the Group Managing Director, Umar Ajia as the Chief Financial Officer, and Bala Wunti as the then GGM NAPIMS, should and must appear before the committee and to be laid by the present management with the entire body of the external auditors that served within the period under review that put together this.
Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, says Nigeria must urgently accelerate efforts to address climate change and transition into a low-carbon economy. Represented by Honorable Mukhtar Shagaya at the National Roundtable on Mandatory National Decarbonization Program, the Speaker noted that climate change is already impacting communities across the country through drought, flooding, erosion, and rising temperatures.
This is the focus of the National Decarbonization Committee, to operationalize and bring some momentum to the work already done. Examples can be observed through other economies, such as the European Union, who operate the world's most sophisticated enforcement regime in this case. While the European Commission sets the broad strategy, the actual teeth of decarbonization reside in multi-layered structures, which include: 1. A driving authority, the European Commission's Directorate General of Climate Action, and the national competent authorities in each member state.
In his welcome address, Chairman of the House Committee on Mandatory National Decarbonization Program, Sesi Wigan, said the National Assembly is working with key stakeholders to develop legislation that will drive Nigeria's transition to a low-carbon economy. He added that the proposed legislation would strengthen investor confidence in Nigeria's carbon market and support ongoing climate initiatives under the current administration.
To operationalize the decarbonization process, the President also approved the National Carbon Market Framework, expected to generate 2.5 to 3 billion annually over the next decade. This framework establishes rules for carbon credit registration, issuance and verification, and incentivizes emissions reduction projects in forestry, renewable energy, clean cooking, and agriculture. The government plans to establish a national carbon registry mandate emission reporting by companies and introduce phased compliance measures.
In her remark, Director of Africa at the Global Wind Energy Council, Wangari Muchinri, said several sectors in Nigeria, including oil and gas and agriculture, remain carbon intensive. She noted that Nigeria has significant opportunities within the emerging carbon economy and can leverage them to create jobs and stimulate sustainable growth.
We have a bill that's already been viewed, it's gone through second reading for decarbonization. We have a Climate Change Act that sets the policy, and a lot of work has been done by the NCCC to set our goals. And so these goals then need an engine to drive forward to make sure that we are seen not to be penalizing. It's very important to stress that our heavy emission industries, which oil and gas is one of such, but that we transition these industries within the globally accepted framework. And that's what we're here today, to speak with not just the legislator in an echo chamber, but they're reaching out to other technical stakeholders.
Also, at DMCB Global Services and technical consultant to the National Decarbonization Program, Irede Ajala, described the consultation as a critical step towards ensuring coordination amongst regulators, development partners, and industry players. She said that the proposed decarbonization bill has already passed second reading in the House of Representatives.
Decarbonization is a new field. Not many people know about what it means for different sectors. Not many people know how it creates jobs and how it brings opportunity into the Nigerian economy. And I've seen this. I'm Kenyan, and I've seen this in Kenya, where there's a lot of opportunity around decarbonization. This is the same for Nigeria, and I think this is the start of something that's going to be very exciting for the Nigerian economy.
Stakeholders at the roundtable emphasized that sustained collaboration between government, industry, and development partners will be essential to ensure Nigeria's successful transition to a low-carbon economy. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory Administration, Bryson Nixon Wike, has advised the chairman-elect of Kuje Area Council, Danjuma Samuel Shekwolo, to remain close to the people and always consult widely with stakeholders before taking major decisions in office. The minister gave the advice on Thursday in Abuja during his ongoing thank you tour to the area councils following the recent council elections in the Federal Capital Territory. ADBN correspondent Naomi Leribe completes the report.
Barrister Nyesom Wike urged the chairman-elect not to change his attitude after assuming office, stressing that leaders must remain accessible and responsive to the needs of the people.
Away from this people, because when you were campaigning, you were always at home. Now that the result has come, don't put away chairman. And I know, working with me, if you're an away chairman, you'll be in trouble. Because I will let our people know that we have made a mistake.
Earlier, the chairman-elect Danjuma Samuel Shekwolo pledged the support of the people of Kuje Area Council for the re-election of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president in 2027 and appealed to the minister to assist in the construction of key roads in the council.
Now, why we have difficulties in returning us on the election was because of our road terrain in Kuje Area Council. The last one that was remaining to operate was Kepi. From here to Kepi will take you 5 hours going, then 5 hours coming back to Kuje. And that was what made it difficult. And I believe that Kuje Area Council also will have been prepared even before 12 midnight. Your Excellency, my appeal to you, please, sir, that you should look into this, especially we have 3 roads that will help us grow our economy in Kuje Area Council, from Kuje to Kochi, and also from Kuje to Kepi.
The minister's thank you tour is part of efforts to appreciate residents of the FCT for their participation in the recently concluded area council elections and to reaffirm the administration's commitment to development across the area councils. Naomi Oleribe, ADBN News.
The need for a more inclusive and equitable media landscape has been highlighted as the Coordinating Director, Broadcast and Monitoring at the Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation, Susan Obi, who was represented by Precious Orji, emphasized this at an event to commemorate the 2026 International Women's Day organized by Women in Media. The theme of this year's celebration is Rights, Justice, Action for All Women and Girls, with the hashtag Give to Gain. Dr. Lillian Anele, team lead, WIMDI, stressed the need for mentorship and support for younger women to ensure capacity building for competent women for the future impact.
I indulge you to continue to break barriers and shatter glass ceilings. Remember that your strength is a beacon of hope for future generations. Let's remember these three things as we give to Gain. 1. Mentorship. Share your expertise and guide aspiring women in media. 2. Support. Amplify each other's voices and stories.
Learn from the best. We have people, we have women who have, climbed this ladder. So we urge you to learn from the best. Don't follow the crowd. Choose a mentor for yourself, somebody who will direct you, somebody who will lead you aright. There are so many voices speaking, but look for that voice that resonates with the true change mantra. Look for that voice that will position you to be a change personality. So that is the voice you should follow, and we have them in Women in Media.
Ms. Inimfon Etuk, curator, She Forum Africa, spoke on the need for justice in handling issues that pertain to women.
And we want to see more women being fielded in political spaces, and political parties really need to know that they'll be doing themselves a whole lot of good if they take the decisions to field more female candidates, because the sensitization level is quite high. We've done quite a lot of work on ourselves, and we're looking at party structures, political structures, governance systems that have the interest of Nigerian women at heart.
Women in Media Development Initiative is an NGO that has been established to empower women that are working in the media space. This is our own way of giving back to ensure that women in the media space are empowered in terms of their skills, in terms of the knowledge that they know how to better their work as journalists and media personalities. So the theme for this year's International Women's Day aligns with what our vision is, to uplift women.
The event, which featured panel discussions centered on the theme for the celebration, had in attendance women from different women groups who lent their voices to the call for rights, justice and action for women and girls. 8th of March every year is set aside to celebrate women globally, with discussions at different fora drawing attention to issues like gender discrimination, gender-based violence and women's political participation. Federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening the integrity of academic records and improving compliance across Nigeria's education sector as part of ongoing reforms aimed at protecting the credibility of the nation's qualifications. Minister of Education Dr. Tunji Alausa stated this during a keynote address at a national capacity building program for school representatives in Abuja. The program, organized to support implementation of Nigerian Education Repository and Data Bank, themed Strengthening Institutional Compliance and Academic Records Integrity, is designed to reinforce compliance frameworks and ensure the accuracy, security and authenticity of academic records across educational institutions nationwide. Dr. Alausa described NERD as a strategic national digital infrastructure that would help standardize and authenticate academic records across tertiary institutions in Nigeria. According to the minister, the platform would administer national credential numbers and introduce a national credential revocation service to track and invalidate fraudulent certificates. It will also provide a national students clearinghouse, a federated repository of academic theses and abstracts, and a national academic publication and indexing database.
Let me emphasize that education is a covenant between the state and its citizens. When a certificate is issued, it's not merely paper. It is a national guarantee that due process was followed and standards were upheld. That guarantees that is only as strong as the integrity of our record-keeping system. You heard just before President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came to government, there was a whistleblower
that really reported about Nigerians going to the Republic of Benin. Some people getting PhD certificates in just 6 months. Universities that never existed.
Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Education Repository and Data Bank, Engineer Tunji Ariyomo, said the initiative marks a significant step towards preserving Nigeria's academic knowledge and research history. Engineer Ariyomo noted that many valuable academic records and research outputs had historically been lost due to weak documentation and preservation systems. He added that reports have also emerged of individuals presenting forged or unverifiable degrees to secure employment, particularly in the public service, while others obtained qualifications from unaccredited institutions abroad.
The theme of knowledge, secret of knowledge, what causes to explode and become consequential is when one knowledge is able to grow. Each other knowledge gets arrogated, be interrogated, get queried, expand, readjust, and then explode. Nations where their knowledge have had that experience preserved over time, where knowledge can be validated. So it's one thing to have record. It's another thing for your record to stand the test of validation so that it is truthful. So that it's not truthful, you have a sort of quality assurance system built into the processes that are able to ensure check and balance.
In a related development, the federal government says it has taken decisive measures to curb certificate fraud following reports that some Nigerians obtained questionable degrees from unaccredited institutions outside the country. Officials say the reforms are part of broader efforts to restore confidence in Nigeria's education system and ensure that academic qualifications remain credible and verifiable. The newly elected State Executive Committee of the All Progressive Congress APC in Akwa Ibom State has paid a courtesy visit to the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, shortly after the conclusion of the party State Congress. The visit, led by Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Umoeno, provided an opportunity for the fresh party leadership to formally introduce themselves to the Senate President and seek his guidance as they assume responsibility for steering the affairs of the party in the state. Addressing the gathering, the state chairman of the APC, speaking on behalf of the newly inaugurated executives, expressed gratitude for the peaceful and consensus-driven Congress that produced the new leadership, assuring Senator Akpabio that the team would discharge its duties with diligence, transparency, and loyalty to the constitution of the party. Governor Umoeno, in his address, congratulated the new state executives and charged them to justify the confidence reposed in them by party faithful, stressing the importance of teamwork, inclusiveness, and consultation in running the affairs of the party. Responding, Senate President Godswill Akpabio congratulated the new executives on their emergence, and commended party stakeholders for ensuring a smooth and rancor-free Congress. The Senate President also reaffirmed his commitment to supporting the party's growth in Akwa Ibom State and called on members to remain steadfast and committed to the collective vision of the APC at both the state and national levels. Still in Akwa Ibom, the Akwa Ibom state government has been urged to collaborate with the federal government to equip science laboratories in public secondary schools across the state. This followed a motion presented during Thursday's plenary by the member representing Instadubium State Constituency, Honorable Eric Akban, who called for the upgrade of secondary schools with adequate science equipment. Honorable Akban noted that science and technology education is essential for producing professionals such as doctors, engineers, pharmacists, agricultural scientists, ICT experts, and other innovators.
Most public secondary schools in Akwa Ibom State do not have functional physics, chemistry, biology, or introductory technology laboratories, leaving students with only theoretical knowledge and little or no exposure to practical scientific training. And whereas the absence of functional laboratories have led to declining performance of students in WAEC, NECO, and JAM examinations, weaken interest in STEM courses, and widen the gap between public and private school learners.
Supporting the motion, all the lawmakers stressed the improving science laboratories is not only an educational issue but also an economic, developmental and moral necessity.
I want to confess that the house I'm living today was built by a student that graduated from Technical College Eden, because there were enough equipment to tutor these students to undergo practicals in their secondary school. They were able to get themselves equipped.
Whereas some other students who had the privilege of going to a school with a well-equipped computer lab must have seen computers back in their days of SS1, SS2, and SS3. So you won't compare a student that have seen a computer before and one who hasn't seen a computer before.
This is what will happen to the future of the future, of course, in the local government area, and then the future of a private state. That you send your child to a school and then you ask him to, you encourage him to become a doctor, an engineer, and unfortunately you send him to a school that doesn't have this laboratory well equipped.
In his ruling, Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Udome Otong, directed the House Committee on Education to carry out a comparative assessment and report its findings to the House within 2 weeks.
Let the Chairman, House Committee, and the Committee on Education invite the Commissioner for Education, the Chairman, SUBEP, and other health institutions, and have a meeting with them on this matter. Then at the end of it, they will come up with a resolution from that meeting. Then we will send it to His Excellency the Governor on our report. I think that is the wish of the House. I think that will be better if somebody has contrary something, because we cannot just send a letter, we don't know what is happening, what they have in mind, what the Ministry of Education is having in mind for these schools. I think the Chairman House Committee should invite them and bring this motion to their knowledge.
As the wind of defections continue to blow around the country, ADBN's Edo State correspondent Favor Osazua reports that Edo's political landscape may be tilting further in favor of the ruling APC. Here's the report.
The rally at Garrick Memorial Ground signaled more than a celebration. It marked a consolidation move by the APC in Edo State. Former members of the PDP, Labour Party, and ADC formally aligned with the ruling party, citing governor's direction and political stability. Governor Mando Pewolo used the occasion to project confidence ahead of 2027, suggesting the party's growing members could translate into a significant electoral advantage for President Bola Tinubu.
When we say it is settled in Edo State, do we mean it or not? We use this opportunity to invite Rufai and Ruben Abati of Arise TV. And we also write you a special letter. By the time you spend 2 days in Edo, you will vote for Asewaju, you and your wife. We drive them by myself. I will take them from one project to another project. Because in Edo State, we have agreed everything we are doing here is practical. Is that not so? We already have 31. Where Atiku came from, the governor is now with us. And another one is coming again. Tell me, if 33 governors, even if we are sleeping, how are they going to do it? Baba will only come here once just to commission a project. Not to come here to campaign, because we have already campaigned.
Political observers say the development reflects early positioning and strategic coalition building as parties begin to test their strength ahead of the next general election.
Today is our first assignment. The leaders of the party in Edo State, the owners of the party in Edo State, repose another confidence in us to pilot the affair of the party for another 4 years. So I am just starting my first term today. This is our first assignment. And for you to know that we are capable and competent, look at the competent people we are receiving in the party today. We have here members of PDP, members of the Labour Party, member of ADC.
It remains for me to reassure you that the determination of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to reposition Nigeria is reinforced every day.
On behalf of myself and the leadership of People's Democratic Party in the 12 wards of Oriomo, we are here today to formally join Mr. Governor in the Shine Agenda and Mr. President in the Renew Hope Agenda.
For now, the numbers project confidence, but as always, the electorate will have the final say. In Benin City, Favor Usazua, ADBN.
Governor Abdullahi Sule has thrown his weight behind the North Central Development Commission as the commission flagged off its strategic tour of the North Central Zone in Nasarawa State, pledging collaboration to unlock the region's vast economic potential. ADBN's correspondent Mary Ojiji reports.
In a significant step towards regional integration, Governor Abdullahi Sule received the governing board and management of the North Central Development Commission at the Government House in Lafia. As chairman of the North Central Governors Forum, Governor Sule commended the commission for adopting a consultative approach and choosing Nasarawa as the first stop on its engagement tour. He described the move as a demonstration of mutual respect and partnership, urging the commission to maintain transparency, fairness, and inclusiveness in delivering its mandates.
The seriousness you have given to this assignment that you have. So far, I have seen a lot of seriousness and I've seen a lot of effort, and I've seen so much that has been done. Just learning, from the other commission that has started. Because not every commission, started so smoothly, and not every commission is running so smoothly. Please continue with this smooth running of the commission so that others will come and learn from you rather than you learning from them.
The governor further charged the commission to move beyond consultations to tangible impact, especially in agriculture, rural electrification, mining, infrastructure, and small-scale enterprise. Development areas, he noted, are critical to improving livelihoods across the region. Earlier, chairman of the governing board said the tour was aimed to galvanize governors ahead of the proposed North Central Engagement Summit, aimed at harmonizing development priorities.
We would like to appeal to you as a governor, we would like to appeal to you as a stakeholder, and most importantly, we would like to appeal to you as the chairman of Governors Forum to galvanize your brother governors for active participation and co-ownership of the commission.
In his remarks, the managing director, Dr. Cyril Singhil, applauded Governor Sule for what he described as uncommon leadership and goodwill, noting that Nasarawa is the first state to host the governing board on its regional tour.
From the very day of our appointment, Your Excellency demonstrated uncommon leadership and goodwill. We are clear that fulfilling our mandate cannot depend solely on government funding. Consequently, we are preparing framework for robust private sector participation in areas such as economic and infrastructural development, regional connectivity, human capital development, agriculture and rural access, transportation, healthcare, education, science and technology, mining and mineral development, as well as peace, security, and social rehabilitation.
The commission
based on the Act, and this is the Act of the Commission. So by extension,
Dr. Moses and the Secretary of the Government
accelerate sustainable development in the region. Mary Ujiji, ADBN News.
Benue State Governor Hyacinth Alia has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to collaboration with security agencies in a bid to end insecurity in the state. Governor Alia made this pledge Thursday when the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waid Shuaibu, paid a security courtesy visit to him at the government house in Makurdi. The governor assured General Shuaibu of the state's maximum cooperation with the Nigerian Army and other security agencies to restore peace and security in Benue State. He said his administration will continue to provide the necessary support and resources to ensure that military can effectively discharge their duties and protect the people.
I want to assure you of our continued support. Insurgencies are never fought alone. The work of intelligence is very pivotal in this regard too. I want to thank you for this continued relationship. We would like the collaboration just to be intensified some more. It remains our hope also to keep supporting members of our fallen heroes, particularly here in the state.
General Shuaibu, who was accompanied by senior military officers, appreciated Governor Alia for his warm reception and assured him of Nigerian Army's continued support in addressing security concerns in the state.
And to assess the operational readiness to carry out the challenging functions they are having here on Benue State, and also to listen to their challenges and resolve those challenges for better output. That was done throughout that period, and an additional battalion was also granted, which are already here and deployed in a Kwande local government area. All these measures are put in place to ensure that the security situation in the Benue improves.
The Sokoto State Government, in partnership with the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF Sokoto Field Office, has organized a direct observation of polio vaccination as part of pre-campaign activities ahead of the March 2026 polio immunization round scheduled to commence on Saturday. ADBN's Northwest correspondent Lawal Aliu was there and now reports.
The outreach exercise, scheduled to take place between 5th and 6th March 2026, is being conducted across 8 local government areas with high metropolitan population in Sokoto State. One of the activities was held at Makera Asada area of Sokoto North local government, where health officials and immunization teams engage community members to ensure compliance with vaccination procedures and improve the quality of service delivery. During the outreach, parents and caregivers were sensitized on the importance of immunizing children against polio and the need to support vaccination teams during the upcoming exercise.
These children are our responsibility to care for. Why should we refuse to allow our children to be immunized against polio?
A significant number of eligible children were also administered the oral polio vaccine using the No Child Left Behind strategy, targeting children who may have missed previous immunization rounds. The event also featured lively engagement with children who participated in dancing and singing sessions, with popular Hausa artist Moda delivered an energetic performance highlighting the importance of the oral polio vaccine in protecting children's health.
How can we allow our children to suffer from health problems without taking them to hospital? Instead of relying only on herbal remedies, doctors can properly examine patients to determine what is wrong. Let us take her to the hospital.
The direct observation of polio vaccine exercise is aimed at strengthening supervision, ensuring adherence to standard vaccination protocols, and enhancing the overall effectiveness of the forthcoming campaign. From Sokoto, Lawal Aliyu, ADBN News.
You're watching ADBN News at 7. Stay with us for more news stories and reports from the foreign scenes and sports desk after the break.
In a world constantly in flux, news moves fast, stories collide, opinions swirl. Who helps you make sense of it all?
It's me, ADBN, of course. Every week, I take you beyond the headlines, cutting through the maze, asking the tough questions, and spotlighting the stories shaping our world.
From politics to culture, business to global affairs, community pulse to everything that defines human existence, News Eddies brings you the currents that matter. Stay informed, stay ahead.
Join me, ADBN, for News Eddies, 9 p.m. every Sunday on ADBN TV.
Welcome back to ADBN News at 7. Now the rest of the news. The government of the Democratic Republic of Congo says that more than 200 people, including 70 children, have been killed after a landslide caused a collapse in a mining area in the east of Democratic Republic of Congo. The landslide struck Rubaya, the country's biggest source of coltan, an ore vital in the electronics industry, in the rebel-controlled east on Tuesday following heavy rains. In a statement, the Mines Ministry blamed the tragedy on M23 rebels and said they were allowing illegal mining without proper safety standards. The M23 are yet to commence, but a source in Rubaya told newsmen that the collapse was caused by attacks from government forces and only 6 had died. The government has not responded to the claim. On more news from the foreign scene, U.S. President Donald Trump has expressed his lack of concern over U.S. gas prices rising as a result of the war in Iran. He told newsmen, if they rise, they rise. The U.S. President said in an interview that gas prices will drop very rapidly when the crisis in Iran is over, adding that the operator is far more important than having gasoline prices go up a little bit. The war with Iran has sent gas prices up 20 cents a gallon, or 7% in just 2 days. President Trump told newsmen he is not looking to tap into the nation's strategic petroleum reserve, the world's largest stockpile of emergency oil held in a network of underground salt caverns in Louisiana and Texas. He also said that he is sure the Strait of Hormuz, a channel just off Iran's southern coast through which 1 out of every 5 barrels of oil on the planet passes, would remain open because Iran's navy is at the bottom of the sea. Trump's comments comes more than a week after he touted that gas prices had fallen during his State of the Union address. And now to news from the sports desk. Morocco have parted ways with head coach Wilad Regragui less than 4 months before the 2026 FIFA World Cup finals. The 50-year-old guided the Moroccan national team to the semi-finals of the 2022 FIFA World Cup, making history as the first African side to reach the last 4 of the competition. Mohamed Ouabin has been promoted from the under-23 team to take charge of the senior side, in a move that mirrors Regragui's own appointment in August 2022, just 3 months before the tournament in Qatar. The Atlas Lions will open their World Cup campaign against 5-time champions Brazil on 13th June. They would also face Scotland and Haiti in Group C of the tournament, which would be staged in the United States, Mexico, and Canada. The Atlas Lions are also scheduled to face Ecuador and Paraguay in friendly matches during this month's international window. Still in sports, Tottenham's fears of a first relegation from the top flight since 1977 has increased after Crystal Palace scored 3 goals in 12 first-half minutes to claim a 3-1 win in North London. Spurs, who played more than half the match with 10 men, have now gone 11 league games without a win. The home side had taken the lead in the 34th minute when England international Dominic Solanke finished from close range. But after Mickey van der Ven was sent off 4 minutes later, Ismail Assar netted twice, one either side of a Jørgen Stradlansen strike to earn Palace consecutive league wins at Tottenham for the first time after thousands of home supporters walked out at halftime. The defeat leaves Tottenham 16th in the table, 1 point above the relegation zone and without a win in 2026, while Palace climbed to 13th. And that's it in ADBN TV News this morning. Remember to watch us live on DSTV Channel 258, on Star Times Channel 140, Avo TV app, Limex World TV app and Niger TV app. For more stories, visit our website on www.adbntv.com. You can also watch us live from every part of the world by logging on to www.adbntv.com/live. I am Beto Brian, thanking you for watching, and I'm handing you back to Chijoke Okafo for the continuation of Morning Express. Stay tuned.
Well, thank you so much, Vito Bryan, for taking us through that robust news bulletin. In the news this morning, in a very heated polity, the African Democratic Congress has criticized the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, calling it grossly incompetent. Now, the ruling party APC has responded by stating that the administration of Mr. President has done well so far for Nigerians. It's been a trade of words between the ADC and the APC, but we'll see more about that in a moment after the break when we visit the front page of the Daily Sun newspaper this morning and many other papers. Do well to stay with us.
For your news on the go, ADBN is everywhere you are. Stay connected across all our social media and streaming platforms for exclusive news updates, captivating stories, and more. Join the ADBN community today via our various platforms. An Avo TV app, ADBN Channel 121, Niger TV app, ADBN TV, Limex World TV app. To get the latest news straight to your phone, join our WhatsApp TV channel. Just search for ADBN TV and hit the follow button. Turn on your notification to stay updated and never miss any part of the experience. Stay in the conversation with us across social media handles. On X at ADBN TV, Instagram at ADBN TV, Facebook ADBN TV, YouTube ADBN TV. Keep visiting our website on www.adbntv.com. Watch us live anytime, anywhere. ADBN TV, a part of you.
It doesn't take a pandemic or an epidemic to know that clean hands save lives. Hand washing is essential anytime, anywhere to protect your health. So keep washing your hands, not just when they're dirty, but even on the go. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep your hands clean.
The overall function of the parliament is adequate representation of their constituents in state echoes to federation.
Removal of fuel subsidy, resources to critical sectors such as education and health. A call to unity and progress of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
NAS Unplugged is a program that will highlight topical issues from both chambers of the National Assembly, from bills, motions, and constituency projects.
Guys have it.
Catch the program on ADBN TV, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, as we bring you activities of the National Assembly as it affects the people.
During the flood disaster in Maiduguri and its environs.
For an increase in the number of judges in the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja.
The eyes have it.
NAS Unplugged, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m.
Welcome to the Niger Delta, a region of incredible beauty and stark contrast. From its breathtaking landscapes to its rich cultural heritage, this is a place where history and modernity collide. But beneath this serene surface lies a story of struggle and resilience. The Niger Delta is the lifeblood of Nigeria's economy, home to vast oil reserves that fuel the nation, yet it is a land where the people fight for their share of the wealth. Join us on the program Niger Delta Today as we explore the heart of the Niger Delta, discover the vibrant cultures, the struggles for environmental justice, and the stories of the people who call this place home. This is the Niger Delta, a land of contrast, a story of resilience, a journey of hope. Don't miss our exclusive series, Niger Delta Today, every day at 12 noon, only on ADBN TV. Witness the untold stories, experience the journey, be part of the change. Do you know what gamalin 20 is? It is a dangerous chemical pesticide never meant for human consumption. Sadly, some fishermen illegally use gamalin 20 to catch fish, poisoning not just the water, but the food on your plate. Here's how to spot fish caught with gamalin 20. Fish that look unusually fresh but stiff. A strange chemical smell, sometimes like kerosene, when cooked. Pale or bleached gills, peeling scales, or sunken eyes. Eating such fish can cause nausea, vomiting, and even damage your liver and kidneys. In severe cases, it can lead to life-threatening health complications. Remember, using gamalin 20 for fishing is a crime. It harms people, rivers, and marine life. Protect your health. Buy fish only from trusted sellers. Report suspicious fishing practices to the authorities. Together, let's keep our waters safe and our meals healthy.
The outreach exercise, scheduled to take place between 5th and 6th March 2026, is being conducted across 8 local government areas with high metropolitan population in Sokoto State. One of the activities was held at Makera Asada area of Sokoto North local government, where health officials and immunization teams engage community members to ensure compliance with vaccination procedures and improve the quality of service delivery. During the outreach, parents and caregivers were sensitized on the importance of immunizing children against polio and the need to support vaccination teams during the upcoming exercise.
These children are our responsibility to care for. Why should we refuse to allow our children to be immunized against polio?
A significant number of eligible children were also administered the oral polio vaccine using the No Child Left Behind strategy, targeting children who may have missed previous immunization rounds. The event also featured lively engagement with children who participated in dancing and singing sessions, with popular Hausa artist Mota delivered an energetic performance highlighting the importance of the oral polio vaccine in protecting children's health.
How can we allow our children to suffer from health problems without taking them to hospital? Instead of relying only on herbal remedies, doctors can properly examine patients to determine what is wrong. Let us take her to the hospital.
The direct observation of polio vaccine exercise is aimed at strengthening supervision, ensuring adherence to standard vaccination protocols, and enhancing the overall effectiveness of the forthcoming campaign. From Sokoto, Lawal Aliyu, ADBN News.
For your news on the go, ADBN is everywhere you are. Stay connected with us across all our social media and streaming platforms for exclusive news updates, captivating stories, and more. Join the ADBN community today. via our various platforms. Anavo TV app, ADBN Channel 121, Niger TV app, ADBN TV, Limexwell TV app. To get the latest news straight to your phone, join our WhatsApp TV channel. Just search for ADBN TV and hit the follow button. Turn on your notification to stay updated and never miss any part of the experience. Stay in the conversation with us across social media handles. On X at ADBN TV, Instagram at ADBN TV, Facebook ADBN TV, YouTube ADBN TV. Keep visiting our website on www.adbntv.com. Watch us live anytime, anywhere. ADBN TV, a part of you.
You're welcome back to Morning Express. Without wasting much time, let's head straight to the front pages this morning. Started off with the Daily Sun newspaper. It's a trade of words between the ADC and the APC concerning the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and what it stands to benefit Nigerians. Now remember that we always read the stories out as published under the editorial guidelines of the papers, and they do not in any way represent our stand or position here at ADBN Television. You're also more than welcome to lend in those thoughtful comments across our social media platforms. We'll be more than excited to hear from you, but be civil in doing so. Well, that being said, straight I'll be taking you through this with my colleague Bito Bryan. Good morning, Bito, once again.
Once again, good morning to you.
All right, let's pick up the Daily Sun newspaper. Bito will take you through the Leadership Friday. On the Daily Sun this morning, the headline story reads, ADC, APC fight over Tinubu's scorecard. His government incompetent, says coalition party. President has done well, ruling party odds. Now, right above the headline, reps approve 140 billion naira SEDC's 2026 budget proposal. We will make region investment hub in 10 years, says MD. Anambra regains oil wells from Delta, expects increased derivation revenue. Now, this is just beside the masthead at the top. Now, let's see some rider stories, 4 of them inserted here. Terrorists attack soldiers, kill imam, kidnap scores in Borno State. NDLEA insists substantive drug case against Abakari on cause. As court dismisses ex-IRT boss, brother's non-declaration of assets trial. Now, he's still in our custody, says the Nigeria Correctional Service. Motorists to pay airport tolls with cash and card, FAN says, as it adds that Tinubu didn't script cashless policy. Senate summons Mele Kyari, Ajia others over an unaccounted 210 trillion naira. Queries 5 billion naira spending on transition from NNPC to NNPCL. Now you find a picture of prominence here capturing Chairman, Senate Committee on Southeast Development Commission, SEDC, Senator Odius Okalo, and Executive Director, Engineering and Technical Services, Nigerian Post Authority, Ibrahim Umar, MD, NPA, Abubakar Ansoho, and Executive Director, Finance, NPA, Vivian Ede, during a meeting with the Senate Committee on Marine, Transport and Blue Economy in Abuja on Monday. These are the stories on the Daily Sun.
Now, moving away from the Daily Sun, our next focus is the front page of the Leadership Friday. Leading headlines on the Leadership Friday, you'd find ACF, Kwankwasia, NNPP flay Kano Assembly's move to impeach Deputy Governor. Beneath that, Senate uncovers 210 trillion naira discrepancy in NNPCL's 7-year audited accounts, summons Kyari others. Drug case against Abakari on course, NDLEA clarifies. Power generation plunges to 3,940.53 megawatts as gas shortage worsens. 2026 Electoral Act, IPAC threatens boycott of 2027 polls. CAF postpones Women's AFCON 2026 12 days before kickoff. Now, beneath the picture of prominence showing the interfaith breaking of fast, Iftar and Lenten by the First Lady, Her Excellency Senator Oluremi Tinubu, CON. On the rider, FEC approves 100% annual emolument as gratuities for retiring civil servants. Delta APC hails Aranyeka's-led EXCO dismisses claim of crisis. Gombe begins enforcement of grazing forest reserves laws. Tinubu resolves 15-year OPL 24-5 dispute. Unlocks deep water investments. Those are the headline stories on the front page of the Leadership Friday.
Well, now let's move on to the Nation newspaper, delving straight into the oil and gas sector. We hear that Mr. President has been able to resolve the OPL 245 rift. This is expected to swell oil output by 150,000 barrels per day. That's the headline story right there. Tinubu facilitates end of crisis. Dangote refinery absorbing 20% of crude oil escalation. Now let's see what it looks like right above the headline and above the masthead. 100 senior lawyers on corruption trial, says EFCC chair. LPDC sanctions 17 legal practitioners. Senator Dixon dumps PDP for new party NDC. Kano Assembly serves Deputy Governor notice of impeachment. How Apex Court heard 357 cases, 272 motions in 1 week. Ondo government vows to defend ownership of Eba oil well. And Masari's presidential advisor, politics. Makoko, mode of compensation divides victims. Now this is following the demolitions. Let's see what it looks like. Picture of prominence here captures President Bola Ahmed Tinubu alongside Descalzi yesterday. This resolution sends a clear signal to global investors that Nigeria is prepared to address legacy issues transparently and upholding the rule of law. Now, these are comments of Mr. President. And lastly, screening for 50,000 police constable recruitment begins Monday.
Away from the Nation, in keeping with more newspapers greeting the lineup this morning, would cross over to the New Telegraph. On the front page of the New Telegraph, financial irregularities is the catchphrase leading the headline. Senate directs NNPCL to refund 210 trillion naira, summons carry Ojulari others. FG signs deal with any. Agric ends 15-year OPL 245 disputes. How pressure from France ministry caused funds cashless policy setback. Electoral Act, IPAC threatens to boycott 2027 polls. Court of Queen's Abakari, 2 others, charges non-disclosure of assets. Gratuity, FG approves 100% annual pay for retiring workers. Middle East crisis, IMF advocates adequate forest reserve for Nigeria's others. Now to the rider, where you'd find a few more headlines. On the rider, if we say we want democracy, we should be sincere about it, says Oneyinka. Says, let no one tell us there is no way out for security challenges. U.S. closes embassy in Kuwait as Iran war escalates. Ex-Governor Dixon defects to NDC, says PDP in ICU. The sidebar is a health report that says dentists can help detect undiagnosed diabetes. More on that report is captured on the inside page 30 of the New Telegraph.
Well, let's move away from the New Telegraph to the Punch newspaper. The U.S.-Iran war and how it has affected oil prices worldwide, and of course locally here, how oil marketers and Dangote are trading words over petrol prices. U.S.-Iran war is the phrase there in red. Marketers, Dangote, trade words over petrol price. Imported petrol cheaper than Dangote's by 64 naira per litre, marketers claim. Defy Middle East war to import petrol, Dangote challenges marketers. Pension funds hit 28 trillion naira as contributors exceed 11 million. And in Borno, hundreds still missing after Boko Haram attack. Senate summons ex-NNPC boss Kyari over 210 trillion naira audit queries. Another story is captured on the left side of the Punch newspaper. Oshun governor campaigns begin March 11 as INEC finalizes candidates. I'll take that again. Oshun governorship polls campaigns begin March 11 as INEC finalizes candidates. DIG Mba, others retire. 7 AIGs for promotion. Now, these are the many stories found on the front page of the Punch newspaper today.
Moving away from the Punch newspaper this morning, our next stop is the front page of the Vanguard. Leading headlines on the Vanguard this morning: Nasarawa, Kogi, Benue in grip of terror. Residents reveal routes, transit camp. How border communities, forest corridors feel attacked. Nasarawa border communities, major transit points for terrorists heading to Benue. A farmer reveals. Says relevant authorities cannot claim ignorance. Accuses monarch of conniving with criminals, misleading security agents. 14,318 survivors flood IDP camps. Kogi forests, sanctuary for armed groups. Above the masthead, Senate summons Miele Ajayi, others over unaccounted 210 trillion naira. Amend the Electoral Act or will boycott 2027 elections, says IPAC. Middle East war spreads as Trump says he must okay Iran's next supreme leader. The picture of prominence shows the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, alongside his vice and other members of the executive cabinet, breaking fast with FEC members. Power crisis worsens as generation drops 11% to 2,898 megawatts. NISO blames poor gas supply. Kano Assembly begins impeachment proceedings against Deputy Governor. Nigeria is poor because we celebrate looters, says Peter Obi. Tinubu prioritizes 2027 over governance, says the ADC. Those are the headline stories captured on the front page of the Vanguard.
Now let's move on to the Nigerian Tribune from the Vanguard newspaper. This still has a story on the unleashing of terror by gunmen in Ondo, Oyo, and Kebbi. Gunmen wreak havoc in Ondo, Oyo, Kebbi states. Big story you can find on news page 12 of the Nigerian Tribune. Disguised as vigilante men to kidnap 4 on Kishi Igbeti Road. Wife, husband in Ondo, killed 2 police officers in Kebbi after attack on border post. We have rescued Igbeti kidnapped victims, Oyo government source claims. Now right above the masthead, Tinubu, governors, other eminent Nigerians to grace Obafemi Awolowo Foundation 2026 Memorial Lecture today. PIA, Nigeria upstream producers have failed to supply crude to refineries, says Dangote, and Senate summons Kyari, ex-NNPCL officials over 210 trillion naira alleged discrepancies. Let's see what other stories look like on the Nigerian Tribune. Google introduces Yoruba, Hausa support for AI search in Nigeria. SANU issues fresh threats over delay in renegotiation February salaries. Senator Dixon dumps PDP, joins NDC. In health, scientists have developed a universal nasal spray vaccine against COVID-19, flu, and pneumonia. And on the rider, Tinubu resolves OPL 245 dispute with ENI 15 years after, unlocks 150,000 barrels per day of crude oil. Our substantive drug case against Abakari still on course, says the NDLEA. Now this is as court acquits him of non-declaration of assets case. These are the stories splashed on the Nigerian Tribune.
Away from the Tribune, let's take a look at the Daily Trust newspaper. Headlined beneath the masthead, terrorists abduct over 100 women, children in Borno. Abakari drug trial continues, says NDLEA. Unprepared leaders are Africa's problem, says Obasanjo. Smartphones prices to increase by 20% in Nigeria. And on the rider, a few more headlines to get by. Beneath the picture of prominence, where you'd find the aftermaths of attacks on an armored vehicle. Kanu Deputy Governor Garo Taki Folgori tipped as impeachment plot begins. Detention El Rufai petitions ICPC demands 15.6 billion naira damages. Water scarcity worsens in FCT. Certificate verification mandatory for NYSC, says the minister. Those are the headlines on the Daily Trust.
Now let's move on to a couple of other dailies this morning, starting off with the Daily Monitor, the Daily Independent, and we'll be concluding with the Guardian newspaper. On the Daily Monitor, non-declaration of assets despite dismissal of case, Abakari's travails to continue. Our substantive drug case against ex-IRT boss on course, says the NDLEA. He's still in our custody, says the Nigeria Correctional Service. Right above the masthead, FAN adopts hybrid payment system at airports. NARC orders DISCOs to adopt SOP to tackle meter bypass. Kano Assembly serves impeachment notice on Deputy Governor. Nigeria's gold reserves hit $3.5 billion, Minerals Fund claims. And IPAC threatens boycott of 2027 polls over Electoral Act amendment. On the rider, federal government resolves OPL 245 dispute, unlocks major deepwater investment. Agreement, a strategic milestone in Nigeria's economic reform agenda, says President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Well, these are the stories found on the Daily Monitor.
Away from the Daily Monitor, our next point of call is the Daily Independent. How foreign vessels are draining Nigeria's maritime wealth is the lead headline. However, above the masthead, electricity generation drops to 3,940 megawatts on gas supply crisis. Tinubu resolves OPL 245 dispute with Eni, unlocks deepwater investment. Political parties crisis distracting election planning, INEC warns. Court acquits Abakari of non-assets declaration charge. Drug case against Kyari still on course, says the NDLEA. ADC supporters storm court, demand George's recusal from case. Party says Tinubu's government most incompetent in Nigeria's history. FEC okays 100% annual salary as gratuity for retired federal workers. Middle East crisis, Dangote refinery vows to prioritize Nigeria, raises petrol price by 100 naira. MTN leverages broadband to shrink pay TV market, dominates telcos. Senator Siriake Dixon dumps PDP for NDC. That's the concluding headline on the rider.
Let's pick up our penultimate paper of the lineup, the Guardian newspaper, with the headline story. Starting off with the catch, old age distress. How weak safety nets make senior citizens, street beggars, destitute. You can find this story elaborated on news pages 4 and 5 of the Guardian newspaper. And of course, an infographics there captures two elderly people, a male and a female, in a state of despair. This goes ration 2,830 megawatts as gas shortages cut power supply. Dangote refinery assures local supply amid global crisis disruption. Senate summons NNPCL former bosses over unaccounted 210 trillion naira. And federal government begins nationwide crackdown on irregular migrants. APGA, APC, others spent 119.6 billion naira in 2025 Anambra Guba poll. Drug case against Abakari on cause. NDLEA clarifies. And Stella Odua seeks plea bargain deal over 2.5 billion naira fraud. 2027, IPAC threatens boycott as Afenifere backs Southern presidency. And credits to government spikes by 37% as private sector lending stalls. These are the stories on The Guardian.
Now, these stories would inform the line of discussions as we look to review headline stories in the news. We hope to be joined by a couple of guest reviewers this morning. You're also expected to be a part of the dialogue across social media platforms. We'll go on a short break, and when we return, these conversations continue in earnest. Stay with us.
In a world constantly in flux, news moves fast, stories collide, opinions swirl. Who helps you make sense of it all?
It's me, ADBN, of course. Every week, I take you beyond the headlines cutting through the maze, asking the tough questions, and spotlighting the stories shaping our world.
From politics to culture, business to global affairs, community pulse to everything that defines human existence, News Eddies brings you the currents that matter. Stay informed, stay ahead.
Join me, Eddie Ekmayong, for News Eddies, 9 p.m. every Sunday on ADBN TV.
For your news on the go, ADBN is everywhere you are. Stay connected with us across all our social media and streaming platforms for exclusive news updates, captivating stories, and more. Join the ADBN community today via our various platforms. Anavo TV app, ADBN channel 121, Niger TV app, ADBN TV, Limexwell TV app. To get the latest news straight to your phone, join our WhatsApp TV channel. Just search for ADBN TV and hit the follow button. Turn on your notification to stay updated and never miss any part of the experience. Stay in the conversation with us across social media handles. On X at ADBN TV, Instagram at ADBN TV, Facebook ADBN TV, YouTube ADBN TV. Keep visiting our website on www.adbntv.com. Watch us live anytime, anywhere. ADBN TV, a part of you.
Step into the heartbeat of the world where news meets real talk. From breakthroughs in diplomacy to humanitarian challenges and scientific milestones, Global Digest takes you beyond the headlines and straight to the heart of the matter. I am Amma Marcus. Be a part of the world unfolding stories at 3 p.m. on ADBN, channel 258 on DSTV, and Star Times, channel 140. Global Digest, your window to the world's current affairs, only on Advocate Broadcasting Network.
The global business is never static. Watch the market report on ADBN TV for business information, latest happening business deals, government economic policies, stock, crude oil and commodity trading, financial upstick and downstick, and the world of organized private sector. The market report showing on ADBN TV, 1 to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday. The market report, bringing you up to speed in the business world.
You're welcome back to Morning Express. Joining us in the studio this morning is Mr. Yusuf Muhyiddin Ahmed, a geospatial analyst and also a regular here on the program. A very good morning to you, Mr. Yusuf.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining the program.
It's nice being here.
Well, let's start off with politics this time around. We'll be taking a few political stories before we delve into the oil and gas sector. The ADC has come out to criticize the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu quite heavily, saying it is grossly incompetent. Now, these are reservations that they hold, regarding what the administration has been doing, or it looks like. Now, the ruling party, the APC, has responded to them, saying that there is nothing grossly inadequate or incompetent about this administration. And in fact, Mr. President is doing well. I understand that these are war of words, they're trading words, but in actual significance, does this hold any iota of truth, maybe on the part of the ADC or on the part of the APC, gearing up to the 2027 polls, and how will it affect the outcome?
Good morning once again, viewers. You know, when somebody is speaking, you look at the vintage and at the point they are coming from, and it's a normal thing for the opposition to look for what is wrong with the government and highlight it so that the government can be on its toe. But sometimes all you need is constructive criticism so that the governing party will be able to do better, so that you point to the area where they are not doing well. But some use of words grows incompetent. In what area, in what sense? You must look at the scorecard of the government. When you just use a word blatantly without any form of regard for reality and what is on ground. You and I know, and we have pontificate here as to the programs of government, what the government has been doing over the year. Asiwaju is steering the ship of state. The APC government is trying to take Nigeria out of doldrums. You and I know what is happening as regard to the construction of road around this country, the introduction of concrete pavement all over Nigeria, thousands of kilometers going on all over the country. And it's not, if you go to the website of the Ministry of Works, you will see that. Close to us here in Abuja, even a blind can feel the impulse of what the Minister Isinwike is how he's turning around the Federal Capital Territory to be a world standard city that it was designed to be. Now, if you go to education, the Alausa-led Ministry of Education has turned the tide of our education and steering it to a enviable height among the community of nations. There is stoppage in the proliferation of university arbitrarily. The issue of ASU has been tackled head-on. In fact, now ASU strike will be a thing of the past. Since the inception of the government of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I haven't seen ASU go on strike. Even when they attempt, there is an immediate intervention, and the strike was not able to hold water. If we go down, we can mention many programs that this government is embarking on that is a trailblazer among community of nations. The security apparatus may be lacking because we still have pockets of insecurity here and there that is disturbing us, but you can't tell me that the government does not have eye on the ball. In education, if I could still pontificate, the issue of NEL fund alone is a rallying point for the government. 1.8 million students benefiting, about 200 billion naira has been disbursed in terms of school fees loan to the student. It's unprecedented anywhere in Africa. So if you don't want to give it to them, we that can see, there are some people that are blind to what is to reality. They can't see what is good about any other person, and they can use word blatantly like this government is a massive failure. But you must look with a periscopic eye, with the eye that can see the right in other people. Yeah. And if you look at those people that are talking, these are people that have failed when they have had sway in this country, failed governor, failed vice president, failed ministers.
Well, I will want you to hold on to that thought in a moment. Let's also hear from Mr. Sam Otoye. Mr. Sam is a senior business editor and also a member of the Fourth Estate of the Ram. A very good morning to you, Mr. Sam. Thank you for joining us this morning. Well, I can't quite hear you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right. I don't know if you were following the conversation between Mr.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. I can hear you clearly.
All right. Fantastic. Mr. Muhyiddin here has been laying some facts bare on the table, stating that the scorecard of Mr. President is looking good. But the ADC does not think so. It thinks that the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is grossly incompetent and hasn't done anything tangible for Nigerians. The APC has fired back as usual in defense of the presidency. But what is your perspective on this, and how would you rate Mr. President's scorecard so far?
Yeah, thank you so much, Chijoke. You see, when opposition kicks, it's their right to do so. And in our democracy, so far, what we see opposition parties do is to criticize and criticize, believing that that will give them some leverage, possibly in the coming election. Yeah, even as that is okay, but talking about constructive criticism is very important, because that's the only way you can balance the equation and people can discern and understand what angle you're coming from. That is not from all hate angle, where the government has done good, like my colleague in the studio there said about in education, the NEL fund and all of those. Yes, quite impressive. That NEL fund thing, I think, is a watershed in that sector. But having said that, there are other things that one can see and say that, look, this government has not done well, particularly in terms of security. And you know that that is the major function of any government, you know, the welfare and security of the citizens. And that's why people are happy so much on it, you know, and giving knocks on the leadership of the current administration. Because no matter what you do, and people, the citizens are not enjoying security, they cannot move freely, go to the farm, go to their different businesses and come back safely. There is a big vacuum. And that is what this administration must tackle, for them to come out of, you know, what the opposition is speaking against it. They must come out of this. And the issue of insecurity is not even abating, even with all that they've said they've done. We are not, I think yesterday or so, it also happened again in Brno, where an imam was killed and over 100 people kidnapped, and all of those. You know, and the question is, why this persistent insecurity? Even as people have said that that in any situation, in any country, where insecurity, terrorism lasts for more than 24 hours or 48 hours, that there is somebody in government, there are some people in government that are behind it. And it has come on and on and on in this country. So the fact remains that even, yes, President Tinubu's lay government has done one or two things, but then those things have been swallowed.
Mr. Sam,
by insecurity.
Mr. Sam, I like the fact that you mentioned insecurity, and I would also want
and have their freedom, the big deal.
I like the fact that you've mentioned insecurity, and I would also want Mr. Muhyiddin to react to this. When you were talking about the scorecard of Mr. President in education, infrastructure, and the rest, you left out security. From your perspective, or in your opinion, is the state of security in the country better right now as it stands than in previous administrations, or maybe better than how Mr. President met it when he came into office in 2023?
You see that is if you go back to the memory lane, even this morning I've mentioned it. Yeah. There's an area which is critical, which is the security. I mentioned it earlier. Maybe you're not mindful of it. What is happening is that the new IG that was put in place was given a marching order. One of the cry over the year is state policing. And the first assignment the IG tackled as he got into office under the directive of Mr. President is to constitute 8-man committee who will oversee the creation of state police. So you can see that the government is eye on the ball. All over the world, security are segmented into 4 parts. The community policing, the state policing, and the federal police. Then there is the intelligentsia unit, which encompasses every one of us, because every one of us is a security personnel on its own. That's we provide information. You provide, if you see something, you say something. As I regard that, if there is a passage of some unscrupulous element or suspicious movement in your locality, and by and large, there is a lot of compromise across the length and breadth of this country. Everywhere, some people have their personal intertribal war, they turn it to insecurity. Some people have that religious connotation within their land space, they turn it to insecurity. This is a gamut of a lot of irregularities that need to be put in a bowl and look into.
And in your opinion, the decision of Mr. President to give a marching order to IGP Disu on the creation of state policing, and also his tasking of the Nigerian Senate to liaise with state governors to ensure that state police comes into play, is actually a move in the right direction.
Because if it's a boiling issue,
curtailing our security.
The president has talked about it more than 4 or 5 times that we can't. The best way to.
Why wasn't any action taken then?
Because you see, you need a team. The president alone cannot do it. So now it's engaging all the stakeholders, the Senate, the state governor, even the federal police as it is structured now have to help in taking this police to the smaller unit, in this policing system to the smaller unit, so that the army can be free to continue to face the external aggression that is constitutional role. What I'm just saying is that even if we have not gotten there in the issue of security, is a topmost thing in the art of the administration to make sure that because it's all over the year. It started with, even in the PDP era, we have the bombing in the Niger Delta. You saw how Yaradua came and tackled it. So with a traditional method of amnesty, and before you know, so there are so many things that need to be looked into. There are some people you have to open fire on them, because when you give some bandit money or you give them amnesty, they still go back into the bush. Somebody who refused to renege from banditry and militancy need to be exterminated. Like one of the American president will say that he doesn't have any clemency for militants, that he will kill them so that he will go and collect their clemency before their maker. And this is the best, in some instance, that's the best way to go. So using all these parameters, the government have eye on the ball as far as insecurity is, tackling insecurity is concerned. Then the policing system is a nucleus aspect that need to be looked at, because the local policing and the community policing that will go down, you can't be moving 100
kilometers?
No, 100 bicycle, 100 motorcycle into a village with gun. You are not a soldier, you are not a policeman,
and you
are just moving, and nobody will alert the insecurity. These are the things going forward that the community policing will come to address.
Let's also get Mr. Sam's take on this matter. Mr. Sam, Yusuf Muhyiddin here in the studio is actually advocating for state policing, and he strongly believes that if this state police structure comes into play, much like Mr. President also believes, it will help to, curtail our security troubles and our security woes, and help stabilize the country, because it will now be a grassroots-based security structure. Do you also share in the same line of thoughts?
Yes, it will help. It will help, actually. But the concern I have about it is the way it's being handled now. I think, 7-man committee that has been set up by the new IGP. The number of weeks, 4 weeks given to them, I think is short.
Why do you think it's short?
Given the enormity of that task, given the enormity of insecurity in this nation, and given the enormity of, yes, I say so because I thought they would have come up with some submission of memoranda from different groups, going through that process of even some kind of town hall meetings, consultations with some groups and all of those, and getting their inputs, because that transaction is not just going to be transactional, as it were. It's something that is going to be embedded in the system. And because we've had this insecurity situation over a period of time, a very long one indeed, it shouldn't be something that should just be modeled up and, and it goes. No, it should be more in-depth than 4 weeks report. That's what my concern is. Because so many people have different opinions and different templates for running a state policing system, and they should have been given that opportunity to make their contributions, and all of those. So that's my little concern I want to raise this morning, so that possibly they might look at it again and elongate that period to give them time to really consult adequately.
Now, Mr. Sam, let's move on to yet another matter this morning, but still staying around the 2027 elections. The Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, has threatened to boycott the 2027 general polls if the federal government fails to rethink its decision on the Electoral Amendment Act 2026, which was passed into law, by the way. Now, this is also as Afenifere has come out to back a southern presidency. Now, is it the southwest, the south-south, or the southeast? Much remains to be seen. But how significant is this threat by IPAC to boycott 2027 elections, and how much impact has IPAC had on our democracy and our elections in recent years?
Thank you so much. Boycotting the election will not solve the problem of our democracy. The only thing is that the country has been captured politically by making it a one-party state. That's the capture there, and that is the concern. So many people are looking at, including the issue of the electoral acts that have been reviewed and passed into law, which has given some form of room for manipulation, given that aspect of manual exercise, because everybody had wanted to see a full-blown, technology, being deployed true, but that has failed, and people are not happy about it, and that is why they are calling for boycott of the election, because they are already having that that insinuation, that feeling that the election might be manipulated, as it has always been in the last seasons. So that's why IPAC is coming out to say, look, we're going to boycott the election, and I don't think they're talking alone. Some other opposition parties are also looking in that direction if anything goes wrong, before 2027, because I think they're still watching to see what actually happens at the end of the day. But for me, having a one-party state is a very bad signal for 2027 election. That's the truth, because it's not going to make anything free and fair. When you have governors being in charge of the states and ready to work for one party, one political party, I wonder how other parties will have the freedom to breathe, and that has raised so much concerns. For IPAC, I think they should also wait and see what happens at the end of the day before they continue on the trajectory of boycotting the elections.
All right, Mr. Sam, Mr. Muhyiddin was just about reacting to a comment you made just before he landed. Do you care to chip it?
The problem is with IPAC is that when you are sleeping, when other people are fully awake, nobody will be blamed for your doldrums.
Interesting.
The IPAC were there when the APC started this government. There are so many political parties, and they are disjointed in their strength. What did the IPAC do to bring them together to form a formidable political platform? Now, ADC came on board. From Malami to Atiku to Aregbesola of this world, who yesterday have a track record of failure. Even some of them are in the APC, because they do not live up to expectation when they are trusted with office. The APC have to ease some of them out of the system. Now they are in the ADC. They could not able to even do a proper registration of their members since they've been making noise. And the INEC told them that in going forward, you want to have a digitized member record. They are the one shouting electronics. And the INEC told them that, okay, give us digitized membership record. Bolaji was on the national TV, the publicity secretary of the APC, saying that because of the digitized record demanded by the INEC, they will not be able to do digital record in this 21st century. And these are the same people crying for electronic transfer. How do you do electronic transfer when you are not digitizing your record? So there are a lot of things. And my colleague here that just made an input. We should understand something. Technology does not work. Let me tell you one thing. Go and check all over the world. Beaver's technology is one of the most electronic technology in the world. Because you start
one of the most reliable.
No, I saw you talking. The thing is working by 75% of its purpose. The only purpose that he has failed is 25%, which is maybe the electronic transfer of record. You do accreditation.
Real time electronic transfer.
Everything about it is real time. When you go to the election day, you do accreditation, and when you do accreditation, it's electronically. You vote manually. Then your vote are counted manually. Now, that's 50. The manual part of it is 50%, and the electronic part of it is 50%. So accreditation has worked, vote count has worked, and sorting out of your vote and counting has worked. The only aspect is the transmission, which is subjected to a lot of variables. The condition at the polling unit, the available of network, and what is our landscape, the technology landscape as available in our country? What is the bandwidth of our country? So the law that was passed is to look at the peculiarity of our setting before the law was passed. The Senate, people in the Senate that are Labour Party, that has PDP, they deliberated on this issue and arrived at, you can't just foreclose. Let me give you one thing. India and China and the likes of United States of America practice democracy and they vote. None of them is doing 100% electronic transfer. So Nigeria's case can be, you must look at your terrain. So we should not look at it as if everything about the electoral system and then we're having a projection that the election will be fraudulent. The opposition have not upped their game from the initial stage. They play a false flag opposition, and that's why they are where they got themselves stuck today. So an APC was ahead in their game, and they have the numbers. And when you are doing well, they say success have many friends, and that's why you see droves of governors. These governors are intelligent people. These governors are people that know their onions. And you see the state of PDP today, who's supposed to offer a vibrant opposition, who will stay. Just a few days ago, the senator from Bayelsa State, Shareke Disi, have to bail out of PDP to another party, not
NDC.
even. So you can see that the level of our opposition is weak. So if you do not look within, if you want to solve your problem, you are only blaming another person. You are not ready to solve your problem. So that's what the APC carved a niche for themselves on.
Mr. Sam, the Afenifere group has thrown its weight behind the southern presidency, most likely a southwestern presidency, owing to the fact that Mr. President himself is from the southwest part of the country. We have seen their counterparts, the Arewa Consultative Forum, throwing its weight behind the northern presidency. The Ohanese Ndibo has not really stated anything yet, but we have seen the likes of the Minister of Works, Engineer Dave Umahi, stating that at the moment, any person vying or hoping to vie for presidency from the southeast or south-south should step down their ambitions. How would you assess this political power dynamics and the regionality of the support from all these different cultural and ethnic groups? Mr. Sam, did you get my question?
Yeah, thank you, Chijoke. Yes, I can hear you.
All right, please carry on.
Yes, they are. Afenifere, what they've said is not out of place. That is what is. So they've not said anything differently, because this is the term of the South to produce president. As a matter of fact, any Northerner or any Northern group that is canvassing for Northern presidency at this time is, I think, is just making an empty opinion, as it were, because this is not their time. See, we have tried to harmonize this system of shift in leadership in terms of moving from north to south and south to north and all of those. And that is where we are. The last regime was by a northerner, President Buhari. Now it's for the southerner. So anybody that is talking anything different from that is just making an empty noise. That is what it is. So for Afenifere, they've just stated the obvious. They didn't say anything new. For the northern group, I think they are making an empty noise because it is not their turn. They should wait for their turn, I think 2031 or so. So that is what it is on that note. But then talking about, the opposition and being whittled down and all of those, we know the history of this PDP that is going down today, or that has gone down as it were, because as far as I think, PDP may not show up anything, at least within this political season, unless they put their acts in order. And they can't put their acts in order because the trouble in the party is within the party, is inside of the party. And Nigerians know what's going on there, So for the ADC that is trying to put up a fight, against APC, you know, in terms of opposition. They are doing their best, but then there are still some spanners, you know, in the works in what they are doing. But give and take, as it were, the South is producing the president, whether it's coming from the East or the
All right, well, we have
the West or the South, wherever. But for the Mr. Dave Umahi, that is saying that South issue, not talk about it. Hello?
Yeah, carry on, Mr. Sam. You had a network break earlier.
Yeah,
All right, please carry on.
I'm trying to round off by saying that what Mr. Dave Umahi said, I cannot hold waters because not Southeast is part of South. And if it is the turn of the South, I think everybody and anybody from that particular region should be allowed to partake and participate. Thank you.
All right, now let's move on to one more political story before we round off the discussion on the program this morning. The Arewa Consultative Forum, Kwankwasia, the NNPP, and other supporters of the NNPP itself have flayed the Kano Assembly's move to impeach the Deputy Governor of Kano State following his refusal, possibly, to move to the All Progressives Congress with Governor Abba Yusuf and other members of the House of Assembly. Now, in a very daring move, the Deputy Governor decided not to move away from NNPP, while his principal and his boss moved together with the Speaker and the House of Assembly members to the APC. He seems to be a lonely wolf, in the midst of lions, as it stands right now. But how would you assess this? And do you think that indeed the Deputy Governor's position might just be sitting on a ticking time bomb?
According to the Constitution, they will just continue to strive. Even Atiku Abubakar and Obasanjo, who had a joint ticket in PDP, and they fall apart. I think Atiku was in the government as a vice president. He contested the presidency under the AC, National Congress at that time. So it does not stop him, and he's still the vice president. So there are a lot of dynamics. If the deputy governor chooses to be in the NNPP and still be deputy governor, it's a joint ticket, but you may go your different way politically, which the Constitution does not frown out. So, and this is the main reason why even the governor was able to move to APC, because there is a crack in the NNPP family. So as the time that is remaining, it's the dynamics of the next election that will ease out probably the governor or the deputy governor, or the governor will now fight his way to get a return ticket using another person as his running mate in the next election. So the battle for the next election has just begun, and you understand, so that he wants to, probably the deputy governor wants to continue to be relevant so that he can fly the flag of NNPP in the next election and still battle it out the present governor as a deputy governor on the seat of the throne. So those are the things that the beginning of that particular debacle in 2027. So the Kano politics as it's arranged is a very dynamic place for politics. He's pitching his tent with the former governor Rabiu Musa Konkoso, who is their political godfather. So, and the governor now is a bona fide member of the APC, and is trying to see that there is a clean house, so that if the deputy governor will not come along with him, they should just split everybody should know where they are standing. So towards the 2027 election, and the dynamics of 2027 in Kano State is what is shaping out. So when they continue to fight it out during the election, and Kabiru Abba securing the APC ticket as the government, he will not be able to pick another person from another interest group within the Ganduje and size. So now these people will now march together and give the Konkosia. It's a
quite very intelligent analysis.
It will be a tough one.
Quite very intelligent analysis. But Mr. Sam, with regards to the Kano politics and the situation currently playing out here, the House of Assembly is trying to impeach the deputy governor, whom they believe has refused to jump ships and be on their side. What do you think the fate of the governor might be, and how is it looking like for this lone soldier in the midst of political opponents at the moment?
Yeah, thank you so much. I agree with my colleague in the studio. There is nothing constitutional about or unconstitutional about what the deputy governor is doing right now by refusing to join the governor. You know, even though it's a joint ticket, but then they have their individual idiosyncrasies, you know, and decisions to make. So in this instance, the right thing, the civilized thing for the governor to do is to go ahead and be doing his business and allow the deputy governor to do his own. At the end of the day, by when the election comes, whoever that will be weeded out will be weeded out. You know, planning to get the House of Assembly to impeach him so that he will be alone on the saddle and all of those. Those are some of the things we criticize in this country. You know, you don't emasculate a person or his opinion, right? You allow free flow of information, free flow of communication, free flow of association, so that it doesn't look as if it's a battle. There's no war around it. He has just taken a decision, right? So why not allow him be? Just as he cited the instance of President Obasanjo and his VP, Atiku, you know, they had such a situation and they managed it to the end of their regime. You know, these things can be managed and the tension will actually not be necessary, you know, because it's really heats up the polity when you begin to try to impeach somebody that ordinarily didn't do any wrongdoing, as it were, you know. Yeah, the guy is doing and trying to align with their promoter, Pampaso. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. He has the right to choose where he wants to be and what he wants to do. The only thing the governor should do is to be on his own and do his own transactions. I think everybody is running for in the interest of the state, and nobody should subjugate the other. I think that is what it should be. Thank you.
Yusuf, you wanted to chip in something earlier?
He really spoke my mind, and we are on the same page as far as this is regard. And the Kano politics is always tense. They have never had it on a dull drum when it comes to politicking. Even the Konkoso that has become a might today, at one time was able to do only one time when the second governor in this dispensation came in, Shekarau, push him out of the office, and he has to come back after 8 years. So it's not a new thing in Kano. But as it is today, all the pendulum is swinging towards Abba Kabiru Yusuf. But Konkoso will give a fight, and the deputy governor is one of the tools that he used to give that fight, and it's just a trailblazer towards.
But do you see the deputy governor now vying for the seat of the governor?
That's the position. That's the position.
And is it politically popular enough with the masses to be able to attempt such feats?
You know, Kano State is the home of politics, and they are not lagging in number of people. You can mention 10 persons that are capable, and look at Sule Ngaro, the former APC candidate Nasiru. We have this particular deputy governor. They are strong forces in Kano State in terms of popularity. Now we have the governor, the present governor, Abba Kabiru Yusuf. We have Ganduje, and we have Konkoso. These are even the former governor Shekarau. These people are very popular and they have their court of followership. Now that's where it comes to battle of strength, then negotiation, counter negotiation. You will see the Shekarau team coming in, trying to align or probably even bring up somebody. So it not be a triple stand of opposition fighting for the space of the soul of the government house in Nasarawa, so that they will get that seat. But what matters the most is that the governor should, as my colleagues have said, should focus on his governance in the remaining time. This is not an issue. The deputy governor cannot wait any influence that will stop him from governance. And that's the governance, and the people of Kano should be, as the governor has
should be priority.
The governor has said when he was leaving the Konkosia movement, because it seems that everything is all about Konkosia. But now he said Kano first. Just the way Americans will say American first. So what is happening now is that the governor wants to concentrate on governance, and the people of Kano are interested. Then he has an alliance with the ruling party of APC, with the likes of Ganduje, Sule Ngaro of this world, Nasiru Gawuna, all of them.
And Barao Jibrin.
Barao Jibrin, the speaker, the deputy senate president. So and if there are a lot of array of appointments, the minister of state for FCT she's from Kano, Barrister Ismaila Ahmed of the presidential initiative for CNG, is also from Kano. Somebody like Hamza Baba, who is in GIP at the Ministry of Humanitarian. These are heavyweight politicians who, if they go to town, they can always give a full support and adequate backing to the governor. So there are many facets of phases, so that the governor seems to be on a stronger ground, so he doesn't need this fight. He just concentrate on governance.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Yusuf Muhyiddin Ahmed. Always a pleasure to have you here.
It's nice being here, and always nice to do what we call advocacies of sensibility.
Actually, we will continue to advocate within the mixes, according to Mr. Muhyiddin. Well, Mr. Sam, thank you so much also for joining the program virtually. I'm extending a virtual handshake to you. Always a pleasure to have you join us on Morning Express.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. I've been speaking to these two gentlemen, Mr. Yusuf Muhyiddin Ahmed, a geospatial analyst, and also Mr. Sam Otoye, who is a senior business editor of the New National Star newspapers. We've been talking politics and matters of national political gameplay. Well, we'll take a break. At the top of the hour, my colleague Beto Bryan will be in the studio, back in the studio, to speak on the International Women's Day 2026, Give to Gain. Do well to stay with us. We'll be right back in a moment.
For your news on the go, ADBN is everywhere you are. Stay connected with us across all our social media and streaming platforms for exclusive news updates, captivating stories, and more. Join the ADBN community today via our various platforms. Anavo TV app, ADBN channel 121, Niger TV app, ADBN TV, Limexwell TV app. To get the latest news straight to your phone, join our WhatsApp TV channel. Just search for ADBN TV and hit the follow button. Turn on your notification to stay updated and never miss any part of the experience. Stay in the conversation with us across social media handles. On X at ADBN TV, Instagram at ADBN TV, Facebook ADBN TV, YouTube ADBN TV. Keep visiting our website on www.adbntv.com. Watch us live anytime, anywhere. ADBN TV, a part of you.
Welcome to the Niger Delta, a region of incredible beauty and stark contrast. From its breathtaking landscapes to its rich cultural heritage, this is a place where history and modernity collide. But beneath this serene surface lies a story of struggle and resilience. The Niger Delta is the lifeblood of Nigeria's economy, home to vast oil reserves that fuel the nation, yet it is a land where the people fight for their share of the wealth. Join us on the program Niger Delta Today as we explore the heart of the Niger Delta, discover the vibrant cultures, the struggles for environmental justice, and the stories of the people who call this place home. This is the Niger Delta, a land of contrast, a story of resilience, a journey of hope. Don't miss our exclusive series, Niger Delta Today, every day at 12 noon, only on ADBN TV. Witness the untold stories, experience the journey, be part of the change.
The overall function of the parliament is adequate representation of their constituents in state echoes to federation.
Removal of fuel subsidy, resources to critical sectors such as education and health. A call to unity and progress of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
NAS Unplugged is a program that will highlight topical issues from both chambers of the National Assembly, from bills, motions, and constituency projects.
Guys have it.
Catch the program on ADBN TV, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, as we bring you activities of the National Assembly as it affects the people.
During the flood disaster in Maiduguri and its environs.
For our increase in the number of judges in the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The High Service.
NAS Unplugged, Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays at 8 p.m.
In a world constantly in flux, news moves fast, stories collide, opinions swirl. Who helps you make sense of it all?
It's me, ADBN, of course. Every week, I take you beyond the headlines, cutting through the maze, asking the tough questions, and spotlighting the stories shaping our world.
From politics to culture, business to global affairs, community pulse to everything that defines human existence, News Eddies brings you the currents that matter. Stay informed, stay ahead.
Join me, ADBN, for News Eddies, 9 p.m. every Sunday on ADBN TV.
It doesn't take a pandemic or an epidemic to know that clean hands save lives. Hand washing is essential anytime, anywhere to protect your health. So keep washing your hands, not just when they're dirty, but even on the go. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep your hands clean.
Do you know what gamalin 20 is? It is a dangerous chemical pesticide never meant for human consumption. Sadly, some fishermen illegally use gamalin 20 to catch fish, poisoning not just the water, but the food on your plate. Here's how to spot fish caught with gamalin 20. Fish that look unusually fresh but stiff. A strange chemical smell, sometimes like kerosene, when cooked. Pale or bleached gills, peeling scales, or sunken eyes. Eating such fish can cause nausea, vomiting, and even damage your liver and kidneys. In severe cases, it can lead to life-threatening health complications. Remember, using gamalin 20 for fishing is a crime. It harms people, rivers, and marine life. To your health. Buy fish only from trusted sellers. Report suspicious fishing practices to the authorities. Together, let's keep our waters safe and our meals healthy.
I indulge you to continue to break barriers and shatter glass ceilings. Remember that your strength is a beacon of hope for future generations. Let's remember these three things as we give today. 1. Mentorship. Share your expertise and guide aspiring women in media. 2. Support. Amplify each other's voices and stories.
Learn from the best. We have people, who have women who have, climbed this ladder. So we urge you to learn from the best. Don't follow the crowd. Choose a mentor for yourself, somebody who will direct you, somebody who will lead you aright. There are so many voices speaking, but look for that voice that resonates with the true change mantra. Look for that voice that will position you to be a change personality. So that is the voice you should follow, and we have them in Women in Media.
And we want to see more women being fielded in political spaces. And political parties really need to know that they'll be doing themselves a whole lot of good if they take the decisions to field more female candidates, because the sensitization level is quite high. We've done quite a lot of work on ourselves, and we're looking at party structures, political structures, governance systems that have the interest of Nigerian women at heart.
I mean, Women in Media Development Initiative is an NGO that has been established to empower women that are working in the media space. This is our own way of giving back to ensure that women in the media space are empowered in terms of their skills, in terms of the knowledge that they know how to better their work as journalists and media personalities. So the theme for this year's International Women's Day aligns with what our vision is, to uplift women.
For your news on the go, ADBN is everywhere you are. Stay connected with us across all our social media and streaming platforms for exclusive news updates, captivating stories, and more. Join the ADBN community today via our various platforms. An Avo TV app, ADBN Channel 121, Niger TV app, ADBN TV, Limexwell TV app. To get the latest news straight to your phone, join our WhatsApp TV channel. Just search for ADBN TV and hit the follow button. Turn on your notification to stay updated and never miss any part of the experience. Stay in the conversation with us across social media handles. On X at ADBN TV, Instagram at ADBN TV, Facebook ADBN TV, YouTube ADBN TV. Keep visiting our website on www.adbntv.com. Watch us live anytime, anywhere. ADBN TV, a part of you.
Welcome to the Niger Delta, a region of incredible beauty and stark contrast. From its breathtaking landscapes to its rich cultural heritage, this is a place where history and modernity collide. But beneath this serene surface lies a story of struggle and resilience. The Niger Delta is the lifeblood of Nigeria's economy, home to vast oil reserves that fuel the nation, yet it is a land where the people fight for their share of the wealth. Join us on the program Niger Delta Today as we explore the heart of the Niger Delta, discover the vibrant cultures, the struggles for environmental justice, and the stories of the people who call this place home. This is the Niger Delta, a land of contrast, a story of resilience, a journey of hope. Don't miss our exclusive series, Niger Delta Today, every day at 12 noon, only on ADBN TV. Witness the untold stories, experience the journey, be part of the change.
Step into the heartbeat of the world where news meets real talk. From breakthroughs in diplomacy to humanitarian challenges and scientific milestones, Global Digest takes you beyond the headlines and straight to the heart of the matter. I am Amma Marcus. Be a part of the world's unfolding stories at 3 p.m. on ADBN, channel 258 on DSTV, and Star Times, channel 140. Global Digest, your window to the world's current affairs, only on Advocate Broadcasting Network. In a world constantly in flux, news moves fast, stories collide, opinions swirl. Who helps you make sense of it all?
It's me, ADBN, of course. Every week, I take you beyond the headlines, cutting through the maze, asking the tough questions, and spotlighting the stories shaping our world.
From politics to culture, business to global affairs, community pulse to everything that defines human existence, News Edits brings you the currents that matter. Stay informed, stay ahead.
Join me, Eddie Ekmayong, for News Eddies, 9 p.m. every Sunday on ADBN TV.
Welcome to FCT in Focus, your window to the vibrant heartbeat of Nigeria's capital. We dive deep into the core of the FCT, exploring how key policies and decisions shape lives across the city. From exclusive insights into the FCT administration to voices from the streets, we bring you stories that matter. Catch FCT in Focus every Saturday and Sunday at noon. Tune in for the latest stories directly from the nation's hearts.
The global business is never static. Watch the market report on ADBN TV for business information, latest happening business deals, government economic policies, stock, crude oil and commodity trading, finance stick and downstick, and the world of organized private sector. The market showing on ADBN TV 1 to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday. The market report, bring you up to speed in the business world.
It doesn't take a pandemic or an epidemic to know that clean hands save lives. Hand washing is essential anytime, anywhere to protect your health. So keep washing your hands, not just when they're dirty, but even on the go. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep your hands clean.
Welcome to the Niger Delta, a region of incredible beauty and stark contrast. From its breathtaking landscapes to its rich cultural heritage, this is a place where history and modernity collide. But beneath this serene surface lies a story of struggle and resilience. The Niger Delta is the lifeblood of Nigeria's economy, home to vast oil reserves that fuel the nation, yet it is a land where the people fight for their share of the wealth. Join us on the program Niger Delta Today as we explore the heart of the Niger Delta, discover the vibrant cultures, the struggles for environmental justice, and the stories of the people who call this place home. This is the Niger Delta, a land of contrast, a story of resilience, a journey of hope. Don't miss our exclusive series, Niger Delta Today, every day at 12 noon, only on ADBN TV. Witness the untold stories, experience the journey, be part of the change.
In a significant step towards regional integration, Governor Abdullahi Sule received the governing board and management of the North Central Development Commission at the Government House in Lafia. As chairman of the North Central Governors Forum, Governor Sule commended the commission for adopting a consultative approach and choosing Nasarawa as the first stop on its engagement tour. He described the move as a demonstration of mutual respect and partnership, urging the commission to maintain transparency, fairness, and inclusiveness in delivering its mandates.
The seriousness you have given to this assignment that you have. So far, I've seen a lot of seriousness and I've seen a lot of effort, and I've seen so much that has been done, just learning, from the other commission that has started. Because not every commission, started so smoothly, and not every commission is running so smoothly. Please continue with this smooth running of the commission so that others will come and learn from you rather than you learning from them.
The governor further charged the commission to move beyond consultations to tangible impact, especially in agriculture, rural electrification, mining, infrastructure, and small-scale enterprise. Development areas he noted are critical to improving livelihoods across the region. Earlier, chairman of the governing board said the tour was aimed to galvanize governors ahead of the proposed North Central Engagement Summit, aimed at harmonizing emphasizing development priorities.
We would like to appeal to you as a governor, we would like to appeal to you as a stakeholder, and most importantly, we would like to appeal to you as the chairman of Governors Forum to galvanize your brother governors for active participation and co-ownership of the commission.
In his remarks, the managing director, Dr. Cyril Singhil, applauded Governor Sule for what he described as uncommon leadership and goodwill, noting that Nasarawa is the first state to host the governing board on its regional tour.
On the very day of our appointment, Your Excellency demonstrated uncommon leadership and goodwill. We are clear that fulfilling our mandate cannot depend solely on government funding. Consequently, we are preparing framework for robust private sector participation in areas such as economic and infrastructural development, regional connectivity, human capital development, agriculture and rural access, transportation, healthcare, education, science and technology, mining and mineral development, as well as peace, security and social rehabilitation.
The commission
based on the act, and this is the act of the commission. So by extension,
Dr. Moses and the Secretary of Government accelerate sustainable development in the region. Mary ADBN News.
For your news on the go, ADBN is everywhere you are. Stay connected with us across all our social media and streaming platforms for exclusive news updates, captivating stories, and more. Join the ADBN community today via our various platforms. An Avo TV app, ADBN Channel 121, Niger TV app, ADBN TV, Limexwell TV app. To get the latest news straight to your phone, join our WhatsApp TV channel. Just search for ADBN TV and hit the follow button. Turn on your notification to stay updated and never miss any part of the experience. Stay in the conversation with us across social media handles. On X at ADBN TV, Instagram at ADBN TV, Facebook ADBN TV, YouTube ADBN TV. Keep visiting our website on www.adbntv.com. Watch us live anytime, anywhere. ADBN TV, a part of you.
Barrister Nyesom Wike urged the chairman-elect not to change his attitude after assuming office, stressing that leaders must remain accessible and responsive to the needs of people.
From this people, when you were, because when you were campaigning, you were always happy that the result has come. Don't put away, chairman. And I know, working with me, if you're an away chairman, you'll be in trouble. Because I would let your people know that we have made a mistake.
Earlier, the chairman-elect Danjuma Samuel Shekwolo pledged the support of the people of Kuje Area Council for the re-election of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president in 2027 and appealed to the minister to assist in the construction of key roads in the council.
Now, why we have difficulties in returning us on the election was because of our road terrain in Kuje Area Council. The last one that was remaining to operate was Kepi. From here to Kepi will take you 5 hours going, then 5 hours coming back to Kuje. And that was what made it difficult. And I believe that Kuje Area Council also will have been present even before 12 midnight. Your Excellency, my appeal to you, please, sir, that you should look into this, especially with that will help us grow our economy in Kuje Area Council from Kuje to Kochi and also from Kuje to Kepi.
The minister's thank you tour is part of efforts to appreciate residents of the FCT for their participation in the recently concluded area council elections and to reaffirm the administration's commitment to development across area councils. Naomi Oleribe, ADBN News.
Welcome to FCT in Focus, your window to the vibrant heartbeat of Nigeria's capital. We dive deep into the core of the FCT, exploring how key policies and decisions shape lives across the city. From exclusive insights into the FCT administration to voices from the streets, we bring you stories that matter. Catch FCT in Focus every Saturday and Sunday at noon. Tune in for the latest stories directly from the nation's hearts.
The rally at Garrick Memorial Ground signaled more than a celebration. It marked a consolidation move by the APC in Edo State. Former members of the PDP, Labour Party, and ADC formally aligned with the ruling party, citing governance direction and political stability. Governor Mando Pewo used the occasion to project confidence ahead of 2027, suggesting the party's growing members could translate into a significant electoral advantage for President Bola Tinubu.
When we say it is settled in Edo State, do we mean it or not? We use this opportunity to invite Rufai and Ruben Abati of Arise TV. And we also write you a special letter. By the time you spend 2 days in Edo, you will vote for Asewaju, you and your wife. We drive them by myself. I will take them from one project to another project. Because in Edo State, we have agreed everything we are doing here is practical. Is that not so? We already have 31. Where Atiku came from, the governor is now with us. And another one is coming again. Tell me, if 33 governors, even if we are sleeping, how are they going to do it? Baba will only come here once, commission a project. Not to come here to campaign, because we have already campaigned.
Political observers say the development reflects early positioning and strategic coalition building as parties begin to test their strength ahead of the next general election.
Today is our first assignment. The leaders of the party in Edo State, the owners of the party in Edo State, repose another confidence in us to pilot the affair of the party for another 4 years. So I am just starting my first term today. This is our first assignment. And for you to know that we are capable and competent, look at the competent people we are receiving into the party today. We have here members of PDP, members of the Labour Party, member of ADC.
It remains for me to reassure you that the determination of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to reposition Nigeria is reinforced every day.
On behalf of myself and the leadership of People's Democratic Party in the 12 wards of Oriomo, we are here today to formally join Mr. Governor in the Shine Agenda and Mr. President in the Renew Hope Agenda.
For now, the numbers project confidence, but as always, the electorate will have the final say. In Benin City, Favor Usazua.
Welcome to the Niger Delta, a region of incredible beauty and stark contrast. From its breathtaking landscapes to its rich cultural heritage, this is a place where history and modernity collide. But beneath this serene surface lies a story of struggle and resilience. The Niger Delta is the lifeblood of Nigeria's economy, home to vast oil reserves that fuel the nation, yet it is a land where the people fight for their share of the wealth. Join us on the program Niger Delta Today as we explore the heart of the Niger Delta, discover the vibrant cultures, the struggles for environmental justice, and the stories of the people who call this place home. This is the Niger Delta, a land of contrast, a story of resilience, a journey of hope. Don't miss our exclusive series, Niger Delta Today, every day at 12 noon, only on ADBN TV. Witness the untold stories, experience the journey, be part of the change.
Areas once known for heavy congestion, flooding and slow movement, the Ramat Park houses and adjoining Sapler Road were major bottlenecks for motorists and residents. With the ongoing flyover, erosion control works and road reconstruction, the area is gradually wearing a new look. Governor Mando Beolo, during an inspection tour, said the project will go beyond traffic decongestion, revealing plans to redesign Ramat Park into a leisure and tourism hub that meets modern urban standards.
There's no man in Edo that can see this road today that will say he will not vote for Mr. President. I want to say a very big thank you to Mr. President, and I also want to thank Edo people for cooperating with us to work for them. Let me also thank the contractor also, because they are working day and night to see that we achieve this, because if this still remains the way it was before now, nobody will pass this road during rainy season.
The project contractors acknowledge that work is on schedule and near completion.
Till now, we have finished all the flyover, both the substructural wall and the superstructural wall. Now the only remaining is for the Palapa and the Median. And about the returning wall, we have finished all the backfilling with the subsand. And very soon, maybe in the next 10 days, we start doing the cement stabilization.
The governor added that the transformation aligns with broader efforts to redefine Edo's image, stimulate commerce, and improve the aesthetic appeal of the capital city. In Benin City, Favor Osazua, ADBN.
In a world constantly in flux, news moves fast, stories collide, opinions swirl. Who helps you make sense of it all?
It's me, ADBN, of course. Every week, I take you beyond the headlines, cutting through the maze, asking the tough questions, and spotlighting the stories shaping our world.
From politics to culture, business to global affairs, community pulse to everything that defines human existence, News Eddies brings you the currents that matter. Stay informed, stay ahead.
Join me, ADBN, for News Eddies, 9 p.m. every Sunday on ADBN TV.
The outreach exercise, scheduled to take place between 5th and 6th March 2026, is being conducted across 8 local government areas with high metropolitan population in Sokoto State. One of the activities was held at Makera Asada area of Sokoto North local government, where health officials and immunization teams engage community members to ensure compliance with vaccination procedures and improve the quality of service delivery. During the outreach, parents and caregivers were sensitized on the importance of immunizing children against polio and the need to support vaccination teams during the upcoming exercise.
These children are our responsibility to care for. Why should we refuse to allow our children to be immunized against polio?
A significant number of eligible children were also administered the oral polio vaccine using the No Child Left Behind strategy, targeting children who may have missed previous immunization rounds. The event also featured lively engagement with children who participated in dancing and singing sessions, with popular Hausa artist Mota delivered an energetic performance highlighting the importance of the oral polio vaccine in protecting children's health.
How can we allow our children to suffer from health problems without taking them to hospital? Instead of relying only on herbal remedies, doctors can properly examine patients, determine what is wrong. Let us take her to the hospital.
The direct observation of polio vaccine exercise is aimed at strengthening supervision, ensuring adherence to standard vaccination protocols, and enhancing the overall effectiveness of the forthcoming campaign. From Sokoto, Lawal Aliyu, ADBN News.
Do you know what Gamalin 20 is? It is a dangerous chemical pesticide never meant for human consumption. Sadly, some fishermen illegally use Gamalin 20 to catch fish, poisoning not just the water, but the food on your plate. Here's how to spot fish caught with Gamalin 20. Fish that look unusually fresh but stiff. A strange chemical smell, sometimes like kerosene, when cooked. Pale or bleached gills, peeling scales, or sunken eyes. Eating such fish can cause nausea, vomiting, and even damage your liver and kidneys. In severe cases, it can lead to life-threatening health complications. Remember, using Gamalin 20 for fishing is a crime. It harms people, rivers, and marine life. Protect your health. Buy fish only from trusted sellers. Report suspicious fishing practices to the authorities. Together, let's keep our waters safe and our meals healthy.
This is the first strategic conference convened by the Inspector General of Police, IGP Olatunji Diso, since assuming office, and he used the occasion to set a firm and reform-driven for his administration. Addressing senior officers, he said the force must meet to discipline, professionalism, and respect for human rights, noting that public trust remains the foundation of effective.
Our authorities derive not from merely status, but public trust. Once that trust is weakened, our effectiveness is diminished.
The IGP announced that accountability structures would be strengthened and insulated from undue influence, with a clear warning that no rank or seniority will shield any officer from disciplinary action. He stressed that loyalty to the force must never mean tolerating misconduct or abuse of power.
Under this leadership, there will be no sacred cows. Rank, seniority, or position will offer no protection. Officers found culpable will face swift and appropriate disciplinary actions, including dismissal, prosecution where applicable.
As part of its reform agenda, the police chief emphasized capacity building, modelizing of training curricula, and full implementation of community policing across commands. He also highlighted the critical role of the force in securing the 2027 general election, pledging fairness, impartiality, and professional conduct.
Let me state, without ambiguity, there will be zero tolerance to partisanship, misconduct, or abuse of authority. Any officer found to have compromised neutrality, violate electoral laws, or act outside approved rules of management will face swift disciplinary action, including prosecution where applicable.
The IGP expressed appreciation to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the confidence reposed in him and called on Nigerians to partner with the police in building a safer and more secure nation. From Lola Adeyemi, ADBN News.
For your news on the go, ADBN is everywhere you are. Stay connected with us across all our social media and streaming platforms for exclusive news updates, captivating stories, and more. Join the ADBN community today via our various platforms. an Avo TV app, ADBN Channel 121, Niger TV app, ADBN TV, Linux Well TV app. To get the latest news straight to your phone, join our WhatsApp TV channel. Just search for ADBN TV and hit the follow button. Turn on your notification to stay updated and never miss any part of the experience. Stay in the conversation with us across social media handles. On X at ADBN TV, Instagram at ADBN TV, Facebook ADBN TV, YouTube ADBN TV. Keep visiting our website on www.adbntv.com. Watch us live anytime, anywhere. ADBN TV, a part of you.
The global business is never static. Watch the market report on ADBN TV for business information, latest happening business deals, government economic policies, stock, crude oil and commodity trading, financial upstick and downstick, and the world of organized private sector. The market report showing on ADBN TV 1 to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday. The market report bringing you up to speed in the business world.
Well, thanks for staying with us on Morning Express. And now to our last leg of discussions, which we look to commemorate the International Women's Day. It's important to note that the theme for this year's celebration highlights the Give to Gain campaign. The Give to Gain campaign now highlights the role of generosity and reciprocity in ways where the women community can gain support for their rightful place in society. Now, joining us to discuss this and more is a gender advocate, Dr. Blessing Natamu. Hello, Dr. Blessing. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Blessing Ntamu, and it's great to be here.
Always a pleasure to have you, Dr. Ntamu. And now, Doctor, let's start with the theme for this year's commemoration. What's the relevance of the To Give to Gain campaign in celebrating women worldwide?
Yeah, it is very important that the entire society gets to know that promoting gender equality, advocating for women's rights, is not a concession. It's something we should actively and collectively engage in for our own gain. According to UN Women's Research, $1.5 trillion is lost annually to gender-based violence. Imagine what a loss that is. So when we continue to promote inequality, when we continue to carry out activities like unequal pay for work, so a woman and a man get employed to do the same work, the man is paid better, we think we are disadvantaging one woman, but no, we are disadvantaging a family, we are disadvantaging her children, we are disadvantaging a community, because when you build a woman, we are one of the most valuable resources that we have as a nation, as a world, making about 50% of the population. And so when you disadvantage us, you're disadvantaging the entire population. So it's a collective gain. We give to gain. So everyone must be ready to give in whatever ways that we can to promote gender equality and to put an end to all forms of violence against women and girls.
Now, one of the earliest forms of giving it would be considered is investment in women. Let's talk about ways of investing in women and how this can help build or shape stronger societies. In your opinion, what are some of the non-negotiables when it comes to investing in women?
Education. You know, we have a lot of out-of-school young girls. We have a lot of girls who get pregnant at teenage because of gender-based violence and abuse. We have to ensure that everything is done to give equal access to girls, equal access to education. The girls have access to education. They have equal access to opportunities, you know. We have to ensure that when we educate a woman, we educate the entire community. It's her children that will gain. In fact, there's no house without a woman. So it starts from educating the woman, empowering, women, creating opportunities for empowerment, livelihood supports, training of women, ensuring justice. Women all over the world are denied justice. We have to ensure that women are not discriminated against in the court. For instance, in Calabar, where I am, It might surprise you to know that a woman cannot go into the court wearing trousers, for instance. Before a woman gets into the court, she must cover her head. That is discrimination, and that breaks the woman. Justice is denied, and a lot of other ways that we have to ensure. We have to ensure that we implement the 35% affirmative action, ensure that we do whatever it takes to ensure that women have a representation in decision-making positions, in leadership positions. You cannot solve the problem of women without the women on the table. So you have to do whatever it takes to bring the women on the table. Some people will argue that, oh, what about, we should just be given a space because she's a woman? No, they are qualified and empowered women all around the globe. We have women, we have educated women, we have empowered women. It has been proven that women even do better in certain positions. We have people like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, and there are a lot more others out there, and there are a lot more others we could create by pushing for gender equality, by meeting the needs of women or younger girls today. So we have to invest in every way possible, prevent, child maternal mortality, so that women can live and fulfill their potentials, ensure that women can make decisions that concerns their health and their life, that they are given agency. There's just a whole lot to be done, and we have to do it together. We have to ensure that we remove all of the barriers that prevent women from actualizing their potentials, from maximizing their potentials. I'm a psychotherapist, and more like in a month, I have like 100 women and girls reaching out to me for therapy. And out of that number, 80% is due to gender-based violence. Imagine what they pay me for my services, of course, except when I have to do sliding scales, And imagine what would happen if they invested that income they're using to seek therapy into other productive avenues. So we have to do all that it takes. We have to invest. We have to come together and, fight for gender equality.
Now, Doctor, you quite brilliantly referenced some of the barriers and challenges that impedes inclusion of women, even within religious and traditional settings, like the choice of clothing and gaining access to a worship center. How much of a barrier is our culture? Because we've heard rhetorics like the place of a woman is in the kitchen. How much of these barriers can be surmounted using campaigns like To Give, to Gain?
Yeah, like you mentioned, our culture is a major problem. Our religion is also a huge problem. Our culture have a patriarchal system that defines boundaries that women cannot go beyond, that creates stereotypes for women. You find from when you are a baby, you find a girl climbing a tree and they say, no, a woman should not do that. If the girl is trying to drive a car, they say, no, a woman should not drive a car. A girl should not have cars as toys, and they give her dolls, and all of that, limiting what that woman can become. So our culture is a problem. We have some cultures like early marriage for young girls in some communities, forced marriages, early and forced marriages. We still have female genital mutilation that endangers the woman's reproductive health. That's why we have to give women agency to make their choices, young girls too. So we have all these cultural practices, widowhood practices. In some communities, when a woman loses her husband, even though she's working, they do not take cognizance of her work, whether she's on leave or not. They ask her to engage in certain traditional practices. She has to sit by the corpse of the woman for several days. In fact, they will start by accusing her of killing the woman, thereby demoralizing her, and then creating an emotional situation that would not allow her to prevail at work. So we have to change these practices. A woman cannot inherit landed property. You can't imagine a woman. Okay, I actually went to rent a house, and the landlady or the legal representative asked me, I hope it's your husband that's coming to pay. And I'm like, I'm paying. They say, I don't want a woman who pay today and tomorrow she's unable to pay. That is discrimination. So some of these beliefs that we have, a woman cannot own landed property, we are not able, it is actually destroying the potentials of women. And I think campaigns get to do a lot, because this patriarchal system, it is in a value system. We are socialized from very young ages. Men are socialized to believe these things. Men see this patriarchy being modeled by their parents, and so they come to believe that that's the only way out. But when we begin to speak to them, helping young men, young boys, first of all, to understand the disadvantage of this level of discrimination and inequality and violence, not to the woman, but to the entire society, then they begin to embrace a new mindset. So there's a need for value reorientation. And having all of the campaigns, awareness campaigns and all of that can serve a lot in reorienting the entire community. Even the girls, a lot of girls are socialized to believe that they actually belong in the kitchen, that they are good for nothing else but marriage, that they were created to serve, to satisfy the whims and caprices of a man at whatever cost. Their own life doesn't matter. Their dreams and purpose in life doesn't matter. It's what the man wants, and that's all. And so we can change that thinking. We can do a value orientation for young girls through these awareness campaigns and educational initiatives and all of that. So yeah, they're very important. They can go a long way.
Now, Doctor, you've touched on our next talking point, which is the role of men in advocating for gender equality. You talked about the need for cultural reorientation, but I'd like to come from the angle of violence, and it's gender-based violence now in a digital space where even before people become physically violent with you, there's cyberbullying, there's cyber stalking, and other forms. How best can men be active partners and not just bystanders in the quest to ensure gender equality?
First of all, they have to come to accept that all forms of discrimination and violence is bad. And that's why the orientation is necessary. I've always been of the opinion that there's no way we can solve the problem of violence without, involving the men, the young boys too. That's why my NGO, Springs of Life Association for Women and Girl Child Development Initiative, we do what we call the he for she approach. So we also train young men to know how their activities harm the other sex, and to also empower them to know what to do, how to act, even in the digital space, right? And also we train the young women to know how to respond, to know how to protect themselves from cyber crimes, from cyberbullying and all of that. Yeah, so it is very important for the men to come on board as partners, because there's no man without a woman and vice versa. In every home, you've got a mother, you've got a sister, you've got, a daughter, and people who perpetrate violence on other people's females, they think it's not them, but somehow what goes around comes around. So the men have got to get involved. They have to know the harm. A lot of cyber violence is so detrimental. It has led to a spiking in suicide rates. All of the stalking, online stalking, identity theft, and all of that. They do not know the harm that it causes to the victims, the survivors. Sometimes they think they're just pranking the young girl. They're just getting satisfaction as teenage boys, but they do not know the extent to which their actions harm the victims. Like I said, a lot of suicide that we've had amongst young girls is because of things like that, digital violence, cyberbullying, and all of that. So we need to educate the young men to know how the impact of their activities online, and also need to educate the young women to know how to protect themselves from all of this identity theft and all of the cyber crimes that are ongoing.
Now, in closing, let's touch on the role of women in leadership. At the start of this discussion, you mentioned the 35% affirmative action. We're also looking at the activities of civil society groups in pushing for the reserved seat women bill, which has been gaining momentum at the National Assembly. But let's go to the basic now. When it starts with leadership, we always look at it from the elevated position of politics. We understand that leadership should even start at home. Often than not, people just talk about the man being the head of the home. What leadership roles are available for a woman, even in the smallest unit of society, as the family?
Of course, the woman, in the I don't know, ironical sense, maybe she's the leader of the home, because for the most part, even when the woman is working, she's the most present in the home with the children. She's the most involved with the children. And so she's the first person to begin to model leadership, to begin to model what values she wants the children to copy. So yes, leadership begins at the home. We should teach our young girls to know their worth. We should teach them to dream dreams. We should teach them to protect themselves, to reject disrespect. We should teach our young girls to be leaders, to aspire to much more than marriage as women. And in any way we find ourselves as women, you know, there's always this narrative that women, we are so divisive, we attack each other, but I think that is now in the past. More women are coming together to work together, and that is what we need to do. Wherever you find yourself, however small that space is it in the classroom, is it in the school as a school principal, you're a woman, is it in the market as the leader of market women, wherever you find yourself, older women should mentor the younger generation. We should teach them, we should empower them. It goes beyond just lip service. Empower them. You find a young lady who is out of school and needs school fees, you have some excess. Let us intentionally mentor, train, develop, empower the younger generation. An empowered woman alone is one that can aspire to leadership. Without that empowerment, without education, without financial empowerment, it's difficult for you to aspire to leadership. So we must ensure that we empower the younger generation. We come together to mentor them, to empower them, to educate the younger generation, and prepare them for leadership. Prepare them for leadership. That's what we should do.
Well, Dr. Blessing, it's been quite insightful discussing with you this morning in a build-up to the International Day of Women, annually commemorated on the 8th of March. I would just like your parting thoughts in your message to all women across the globe as they look to commemorate this observance.
I just want to say to every woman, you are enough as you are. You have got all that it takes. I want women all over the world to aspire to greatness, aspire to leadership positions, aspire to fulfilling your potentials. Take up space, speak out, support each other, develop yourself. Fight for self-development, because we need you to be empowered to be able to take up the positions that are waiting for you. Let us just come together and fight against all forms of discrimination, stigmatization, and all forms of violence against women and girls. Together we can do it. Only together. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Do well to enjoy your weekend and also the commemorative observance.
Thank you very much. You too. Bye then.
And from ADBN Television, we're wishing all our women here in the station, Nigeria, and the world over a happy International Women's Day. My name is Beat O'Brien. Thanking you for being a part of the program this morning and wishing you the best of the weekend ahead. At the top of the hour, we'll link you up with our sports crew from our Uyo studios for ADBN Sports at 10. Do well to stay tuned.
In a world constantly in flux, news moves fast, stories collide, opinions swirl. Who helps you make sense of it all?
It's me, ADBN, of course. Every week, I take you beyond the headlines, cutting through the maze, asking the tough questions, and spotlighting the stories shaping our world.
From politics to culture, business to global affairs, community pulse to everything that defines human existence, News Eddies brings you the currents that matter. Stay informed, stay ahead.
Join me, ADBN, for News Eddies, 9 p.m. every Sunday on ADBN TV.
The overall function of the Parliament is adequate representation of their constituents in state echoes to federation.
Removal of fuel subsidy, resources to critical sectors such as education and health. A call to unity and progress of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
NAS Unplugged is a program that will highlight topical issues from both chambers of the National Assembly, from bills, motions, and constituency projects.
Guys have it.
Catch the program on ADBN TV, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, as we bring you activities of the National Assembly as it affects the people.
During the flood disaster in Maiduguri and its irons.
For increase in the number of judges in the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja.
The eyes have it.
NAS Unplugged, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m.